Ciao, ciao. Good evening, everyone. What is happening? We are on Calcho's Got Latent. This show will not get cancelled. Don't worry. ऐसा कोई चिंता नहीं है यहाँ पे because we have Mr. Yogesh D. Laurentiis with us. He is, you know, head and shoulders above everybody. कुछ भी मसला या प्रॉब्लम आएगा तो योगेश डी लॉरेंटिस है जो संभाल लेगा. Also with us is Param who is just recovering from the cold and flu infection जो I think हर मुंबईकर को हो चुका है.
या मैं योगेश को वही बोल रहा था लाइव जाने से पहले. बॉम्बे में हो तो बीमार तो डेफिनेटली पड़ने का हाई चांस है.
बिल्कुल 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 बिल्कुल. Let's start the show, boys.
आप कैसे हो?
Good, very good. Touchfully recovered from the cold and flu that you had. Enjoying the football, enjoying the rugby as well. अभी Six Nations चल रहा तो I'm a big rugby fan. जैसे आप देख सकते हो मेरा All Blacks का jersey है ये. So I am a massive supporter of the All Blacks. But I enjoy the Six Nations as well. And Italy got their first win against Wales at the Stadio Olimpico. So good times for Italy as well in the Six Nations. Enjoy कर रहा हूँ यार.
सही है. Before we begin, पहले देख लेते हैं यार who's in the chat. We have Rio as always. Thanks for joining in here, Rio. Talented thumbnail, he says. योगेश ने WhatsApp ग्रुप का लिंक डाला. If you're interested in joining, do join. As we always say, टॉक्सिक मत बना देना ग्रुप को. मतलब ग्रुप का होल पॉइंट इज टू कीप इट फन एंड बैंटर. वो सब ठीक है बट डोंट मेक इट टॉक्सिक एंड ऑल दैट. सो इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड, डू जॉइन इन. Of course, Ravi with his of course his real name is something else. Ajay bhai, you wanted to ask him a question,
यार,
right?
रवि तू है कहाँ से? तू बता. तू मुंबई में कहाँ रहता? तू बता मुझे. तेरा एड्रेस चाहिए. सीआईडी मांग रहा है. मैं प्रद्युमन को भेजने वाला हूँ तेरे घर पे. आइडेंटिटी थेफ्ट इज नॉट अ जोक, ड्वाइट.
Yeah. Mumbai traffic, bro, we won't understand. क्या ही बोल सकते हैं. It is what it is. Guri is here showing his love for Atalanta. Imagine buying the best player of a certain team, then facing them and losing to them. Sir, Brian Cristante Ballon d'Or charges truly well and on. France is better right now than the All Blacks.
France are going through a better cycle right now. Dupont is a magician, man. I mean, you guys should see him play. What a player. He doesn't look like a typical rugby player, but very, very effective.
Yeah, Deepu will come to this. ये मैं स्टार करता हूँ रनियरी के रैंट पे. जस्ट पहले कमेंट्स के थ्रू जाते बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली वी ऑल सॉ द ऑफिशिएटिंग अगेंस्ट. ऑब्वियसली ऐसा लग रहा है हम लोग एक साइड से पर्सपेक्टिव देने का ट्राई कर रहे हैं बट Italian teams के against officiating in European competitions hasn't been the greatest. This is not the first time it has happened in this season against Inter Leverkusen when they scored. Before that, corner जो मिला, it was offside. Offside calls not being given in the Champions League is, I feel, scandalous, Yogesh. मतलब I think he's frozen, but in the Champions League, ठीक है, league में we are used to these errors कि offside नहीं दिखता है लोगों को ये वो. Offside फिर भी league में दिया जाता है most of the times. But in the Champions League, Ajay bhai, not calling offside and not just happening to, obviously, we know basically league में Milan के साथ हो, but in the Champions League or any other European competition for that matter, these errors happening. What happened to you yesterday? It's quite.
मैं तो क्या बोलूं, after that Europa League final loss against Sevilla, I have lost all hopes. You know.
Yeah, दिल्ली से वो, मुंबई से नहीं हूँ. अजय भाई ने डरा दिया. Mission accomplished. His real name is obviously अभिजय, तो वो भी expose कर ही दो भाई आप. मतलब वो अपने दोस्त
कर दिया.
वो तो पता था अपने को obviously. इतना डरने की कोई जरूरत नहीं. इतना कोई कुछ करता नहीं है. शुभदीप is here. Nice to have you.
क्यों डरना भाई? We have YDL with us. It's been 4 minutes 20 seconds on the stream and he hasn't spoken a single word, by the way.
Because he's frozen ना. अभी वो एक पॉइंट पे गैप आ गया तो एक फ्रीज हो गया.
तो पता नहीं.
एक पॉइंट पे जब गैप आ जाए तो ऐसे ही हो जाता है. मतलब जब 3 पॉइंट 4 पॉइंट का लीड, जब 1 पॉइंट. Atalanta का भी obviously गलत था. Obviously there was not a penalty for Club Brugge. But I just keep saying this. It's funny when Gasperini cries over it, but when things go in his favor, he never calls it. Simple चीज है. कोई भी कुछ नहीं करता. I know Antonio Conte also took a shot at Simone Inzaghi not that long ago. And it's funny because again Napoli, Yogesh obviously as a fan won't admit it, but me and Ajay have seen it. Napoli have also benefited from a couple of calls here and there. And obviously
Yogesh.
Yeah, frozen. Obviously unfreeze तो नहीं होगा अभी. But the point is जब खुद की टीम बेनिफिट करती है तब किसी को कुछ बोलना नहीं होता है. जब उनके अगेंस्ट कुछ जाता है सब लोग तब बोलते हैं. So it's quite interesting. Rahul is also here and कॉल फ्रॉम एडीएल, हाँ बट ये वो तो है यार, वो सब बाकी का बाद बाद में देख लेंगे। योगेश तू फिक्स करके आ जा आराम से पहले, नो रश, वी हैव जस्ट स्टार्टेड, सो यू
एक काम
फिक्स योर
करना, तू
इंटरनेट।
तू तेरे टेरेस पे जा, और जो तेरा यू नो वाईफाई का सिग्नल है उसको जरा फिक्स कर, जैसे हम लोग पुराने जमाने में जाके टीवी का सिग्नल फिक्स करते हैं ना एंटीना में, जाके जरा देख तेरा, आप टेरेस में जाके कुछ कर, कुछ तो कर
या
भाई।
बट ऑल जोक्स असाइड गाइस, आई थिंक दीपू ने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा, वी कैन स्टार्ट देयर, इट्स एन इंटरेस्टिंग प्लेस टू स्टार्ट। क्या बोलते हो अजय, व्हाट डिड यू मेक ऑफ रनियरीज रैंट? आई विल ट्राई टू पुल समथिंग अप ऑफ कोर्स। क्या
देख
बोलते हो?
भाई, अगर अगर रैनियरी आके ये सब कमेंट्स मार रहा है, मतलब यू हैव रियली डन समथिंग टू पिस हिम ऑफ, अदरवाइज भाई ही इज जस्ट 4 months away from his retirement. Doesn't really, I would say, go down the Jose Mourinho route where Mourinho picks up a fight with every referee. तो अगर आपने जोसे मोरिन्यो बोला, रैनियरी को अगर आपने मतलब भड़काया है तो कुछ तो किया रहेगा। एंड atrocious man, oh my god, I have never seen, मतलब रोमा प्लेयर्स सांस ले रहे हैं और जाके रेफ येलो दे रहा है, it was that bad. Like,
या
to be fair, Brian Cristante's first yellow card was very soft. Second तो yellow card था ही वो, because it was like, he got uh, this guy down. But my point is कि इतना मतलब so many decisions that went against Roma.
या
Salamakers is out. He's accumulated enough yellow cards. He's going to miss the next leg. You saw Mancini go and show the referee the badge and say that respeto, respect the badge. So यार, I think like honestly, Ranieri को अगर अगर Ranieri भड़क गया, मतलब आपने कुछ तो बड़ा कांड किया हुआ है। एंड to be fair, when the Roma players were going to lose their head, जो last वाला है, I sent the players away at the end. He was smart. He put himself in the firing line and ensure that no Roma players got a booking after the whistle has been blown. You
या
saw what happened at Everton Liverpool,
या
post the match, so many red cards were handed out. So I think Ranieri in that way uses experience as well. I would say disappointing night, because I think Roma did control a vast majority of the game. The goal was disappointing in the way that we conceded, but I would still take a 1-1 because we are still, all square in the tie, and we go back to the Olympico in 1 week, and hopefully the home crowd can push us and push us to get a result and move on to the next round of the Europa League.
वेल सेड, वेल सेड। या बिकॉज मैं भी ऑब्वियसली गेम देख रहा था, एंड ऑब्वियसली मेरे को तो ऑब्वियसली पोर्टो पसंद है, यू नो दैट,
Yeah,
बट
yeah,
ऑब्वियसली लॉट ऑफ कॉल्स, ऑब्वियसली आई डोंट अग्री विद Ranieri's reasoning, but that was mostly emotions where he says कि why did you appoint a referee जिसके अंदर सिर्फ नौ draws हुए away team के? I mean that really doesn't make as much sense for me, but I know it was mostly his emotions flying in.
yeah.
I feel obviously बहुत soft बहुत मतलब क्या बोलते हैं soft fouls थे, और then when Porto were fouling a lot of Roma players, obviously foul नहीं दिया जा रहा था, जो डिबाला पे भी foul था ये वो।
Yeah, Dybala got
तो
injured because of that tackle, man. I
yeah,
mean, it's a horrible
एग्जैक्टली
tackle.
सो एग्जैक्टली सो ऑब्वियसली पोर्टो थोड़ा उधर बेनिफिट किया ऑलवेज, बट ये वही हो रहा है कि जनरली ऑफिशिएटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स हम जो बात करते हैं ड्रॉप, पीपल फैंस इन द मॉडर्न डे और फैंस ऑन द इंटरनेट थिंक यू नो कि इट्स अजेंडा और इट्स बेनिफिट टू बेनिफिट वन क्लब और द अदर, वेदर इट्स यूए इंटर और एसी मिलान,
Yeah,
बट दैट्स नॉट द पॉइंट। आई थिंक आप देख रहे हो तो सब क्लब्स के अगेंस्ट गंदे डिसीजंस जा रहे हैं, वेदर इट्स इन द लीग, चैंपियंस लीग तो बोलो ही, मतलब चैंपियंस लीग, यूरोपा लीग, उसमें तो मतलब एज आई सेड मुझे तो अभी भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा हाउ समवन कैन मिस एन ऑफसाइड कॉल इन द चैंपियंस लीग और एनी यूरोपियन कंपटीशन फॉर दैट मैटर। सो या आई मीन आई थिंक quite gutting. Maybe Roma could have got a win. Maybe Roma could have got a different
yeah,
result in that on a proper note, or if the game was officiated properly. But yeah, 1-1, there is all to play for in that game. देखते हैं यार, because बहुत close है Roma Porto. We know has been a close affair in the past
yeah.
as well. और मुश्किल तो होगा रोमा के लिए, आसान तो नहीं होने
काफी
वाला।
काफी काफी मुश्किल है. It's going to be a
I'll
very
just
very
be back. I'll just be back. Ajay, just takes a comment start. I'll just be back in a
sure,
minute.
sure, sure. In the meantime, we'll try to find Yogesh, who's gone AWOL. Uh, Let me see where we had stopped. Rahul Singh in the house. Ciao Rahul. Call from ADL. पता नहीं यार YDL का क्या चलता है आजकल. Atalanta
Yeah,
Bergamo
yeah, I think
Manchester
उसके इंटरनेट
छोटा
का
red card.
बैंड
Yeah, this is a bit too much, Adrish. The Mota red
नहीं
card was something else, man. I don't think so. The Atlanta wala itna kuch ka, but the Mota one was atrocious. मतलब उसको
या वो
release that
बुस्केट्स
too,
का तो एक्टिंग अलग लेवल पे था. ही वाज इवन स्माइलिंग, ही वाज इवन गॉट
and
स्माइलिंग
in
ऑन
such
कैमरा.
a high stakes game. I think this is barely the
या
Atlanta game. With all due respect, is not so high stake compared to that. That was the second leg of the Champions League semi-final, and it
या
was all or nothing for both Inter or Barca. So, ठीक है. I mean, if you had to like really single out something, I think it was the Fiorentina Bayern Munich game where Miroslav Klose scored a goal that he was like freaking 3 meters offside, dude. 3 meters. And Fiorentina got knocked out, and that was Fiorentina's best ever run in the Champions League.
या
So I think this is the year when Bayern went on to play the final. I think against Chelsea. It is that season.
या
But
वो
yeah,
फियोरेंटीना वाला आई नो द इंस्टेंस यार, बिकॉज वो तो अलग ही था एक.
they were robbed, man. They were completely robbed.
या या
But yeah,
या
the,
ये तो. बट अगेन एज अदरीश सेड वी ऑलरेडी बीट देम, सो इट रियली नलिफाइज. मतलब वो सेकंड गेम भी बहुत मस्त था. ऑब्वियसली इट वाज अ टफ
मैं
गेम.
परम मैं ये इसको मैं स्टार कर रहा हूँ because I want Yogesh also to be here
Yeah,
to
we'll take
answer
that
this.
later. Of course, we'll take that comment later.
This is a good question,
Uh,
man, for you.
पर हम, it doesn't matter. Like I'm never like, देखो मैं हमेशा एक चीज बोलता हूँ. I'm not scared of any team regardless of who it is, or I don't have any preferences per se. Obviously, अगर मैं objectively बोलूँ एकदम purely, तो obviously this season so far AC Milan has had our number. So ऐसा बोल सकते हो कि अगर फिर से शायद उनको खेले तो they go in as favorites because they've turned up in the big games so far.
Yeah.
But again, I know that we have treated the UCL with a different attitude altogether. तो उधर एक और पर्सपेक्टिव से आप बोल सकते हो कि obviously Inter is looking to obviously be one of the contenders to win it, not outright contenders but obviously one of the contenders. तो I don't know यार, चलेगा जो भी है वो है, because at this stage you have to play anyone. अगर ऐसा है तो भाई कल लेट्स से ब्रैकेट में एटलेटिको मैड्रिड मिल जाता या लेट्स से लिवरपूल मिल जाता, जस्ट गिविंग अ हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन, यू हैव टू प्ले देम. सो मुझे इतना कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. व्हेन वी हैड टू प्ले लिवरपूल इन द 21-22 सीजन, I was not worried, like I was not scared. I knew we were not the favorites, but we still won at Anfield eventually, obviously. And so where Inter stands, I always say कि जिसको खेलना है खेलेंगे, and then from there we will see. That doesn't mean that's not out of arrogance or anything. It is what it is. मेरा simply वही logic है. चाहे सिटी खेलो चाहे रियल मैड्रिड खेलो, you have to play who's in front of you. So it doesn't
Yeah.
really bother me. मिलान या हो या यूवे और पीएसवी या फायरनोर्ड भी हो, देखो आप उनको अंडर एस्टिमेट नहीं कर सकते. पहले यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट फायरनोर्ड आल्सो वन, नो वरीज अजय, एंड यूवे और
इसको मैं
पीएसवी में
fix करता हूँ 1 minute.
हाँ, पीएसवी और यूए में भी ऑब्वियसली इट्स अ वेरी नैरो मार्जिन. सो देखते हैं उधर क्या होता है. बट अगेन पर्सनली इट डजंट रियली मैटर टू मी, जिसको खेलना है खेले यार. गलती से टैग हो गया, नो वरीज. व्हाई इज इट, या ये फनी चीज है बेसिकली बिकॉज Mourinho was unhappy with one of the decisions in the cup games, and obviously Icardi playing for Galatasaray and Mourinho being the Fenerbahce coach, वो दोनों की rivalry obviously clubs की. तो Icardi posted a picture of like a book and a book cover calling him the crying one. But Mourinho's response, I don't think many people understood. I think I will have to link you because I don't think I should say it out aloud. Mourinho called Icardi a goat, और लोगों को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है बहुत लोगों को कि उसने उसको goat क्यों बोला. Some people thought he was praising Icardi, some people thought it was a weak reply. But if you do a bit of research and if you actually dive into the meaning of the word goat in Portuguese, it's a very
Yes.
it's a very
I didn't know this until you explained this to me.
हाँ मेरे
तू
को पता था
explain कर तू.
मैं ये स्क्रीन पे एक्सप्लेन करूँ. सो भाई बेसिकली सिंपल थिंग है. पोर्चुगीज में गोट के लिए वर्ड है कब्रा एंड और कब्राओ, ठीक है. तो कब्राओ इसेंशियली दैट वर्ड मीन्स गोट, बट इट्स यूज्ड एज अ स्लैंग, जो हम लोग कैसे हिंदी में अलग अलग स्लैंग वर्ड्स बोलते हैं ना अजय भाई, कभी कभी इन्वेंट करके. तो पोर्चुगीज में कब्राओ इसेंशियली ट्रांसलेट्स टू अ ककोल्ड और somebody who's being cheated on by his wife. So उसने basically वो रेफरेंस ड्रॉप किया वांडा नाराके सागा के बारे में. So he pretty much destroyed Icardi with one word which many people didn't understand, but he being Portuguese, he played his mind games and he got the upper hand over Icardi. So obviously I'm sorry, but if any Inter fan still supports Icardi after this, you're like, I have no words for you. Please don't have
And
a conversation.
when Icardi broke out at Sampdoria, I had never thought his career would unravel in this way, यार. मतलब क्या
Uh,
striker था यार. मतलब he was so
yeah,
naturally gifted to be,
yeah, yeah,
the right. Uh, I would say a modern version of Inzaghi. Like, he was always at the right place, right time at
yeah,
Sampdoria. And he
yeah, yeah.
really
But
did well at Sampdoria.
the attitude is a major problem, right? Like,
Ah,
मैं वही बोला था actually.
was
Kostov is in the house. Kostov
speaking
is here.
speaking
Salam boys, how are
speaking
you?
of legends in the house.
Yeah. And talking about the Mourinho Icardi beef, जो Mourinho का reply था, बहुत लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया, right? Goat, उसने क्यों बोला? Goat का क्या मतलब है? You understood it, right, Costa? I'm sure you must have done
I
your research.
understood it, but I don't get the entire situation. I didn't pay too much attention because it's Icardi.
No, Icardi basically
Basically.
वो cup game में एक controversial call हुआ था and Mourinho called it out. And Icardi called him the crying one
हाँ,
with like a
हाँ,
edited book का cover.
हाँ,
Mourinho called him a goat, which, as I said, essentially means somebody in
हाँ.
Portuguese, like a cuckold who's being cheated on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
We destroyed him. पर वही
हाँ.
चीज है कल actually yesterday was the day Ajay bhai, so it was my birthday yesterday, but yesterday 6 years
Yes.
ago on my birthday is when Icardi was also stripped of his captaincy, so that was one of the best birthday gifts I could have ever received. In 2019 I remember he
Poetic.
was stripped of
Poetic.
poetic.
हाँ.
He was, मेरे पास वो screenshot भी है, Inter making an official statement where Samir they didn't say Icardi has been stripped of captaincy, they said Samir Handanovic has been appointed as the new Inter captain. So
Ah.
बहुत funny था. I'll pull it up, but Yogesh finally लगता है बराबर इंटरनेट के साथ एकदम
नहीं
8K क्वालिटी में
नहीं
आ गया.
कहाँ हाँ अभी भी अंडरटेकर का ऐसे ही है उसका एंट्रेंस देखना
अटक गया
Undertaker.
yeah, definitely.
आई
अच्छा खेला अभी योगेश. Progress. नहीं अटक गया.
योगेश
अटक गया.
ब्लिंक
अटक गया.
ब्लिंक ट्वाइस स्माइल कर रहा
ADL ने हॉस्टेज रखा है उसको Okafor के साइनिंग के लिए. But yeah, that's the Mourinho Icardi situation. We'll get to a few comments and we'll resume the discussion again, guys. Of course, he destroyed. How do you think? How serious is Dybala's injury? बोलो.
luckily it's not serious. He will not feature against the game against Parma, but I think he should be back against Porto in the second leg. So just narrowly avoiding injury. It could have been far more serious. The tackle was quite horrible, but like we mentioned, at the start of the stream, protection was not there yesterday. It was just a very free flowing yellow card game. So
Yeah.
hopefully Dybala comes back. I mean, touchwood, he's been very influential under Ranieri, and it's not a serious one.
Yeah. Ajay bhai, if you have your WhatsApp on, I'll share that picture with you. If you could just very briefly share it, if you have it on in case. So, official, because not many people know this कि Icardi को actually strip किया गया था in the first place of captaincy. Because I remember वो season Costo, I don't know if you'll remember, but he had faked his injury as well. And there was this whole scene where
It was around that
I
Europa
don't
League
have it
wala
here,
game
but I
against who? Frankfurt.
हाँ around that time. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, the club can confirm.
ये वाला.
That was on my birthday. So
Feb 13, 2019. Parab,
Yeah.
Feb 13, 2019. The
Yeah,
world
yeah.
was very different back then. No pandemic, no COVID.
No pandemic, जैसे कौस्तुभ ने
Proper
बोला.
football.
Sorry, lockdown season. हाँ नहीं 18-19 ना correct, not 19-20 correct.
हाँ.
And so yeah, कौस्तुभ मतलब जैसे तू बोला whole different इंटर back then, जैसे अजय भाई ने दिखाया इंटर का लोगो भी थोड़ा पुराना वाला था ये वो. तो भाई उस टाइम पे जब स्टेप हुआ था ये कि बंदा कैप्टनसी से, I was so happy man, like I cannot stand the guy, like horrible player नहीं बोलूंगा, obviously horrible human being. And उसका जो अब सागा अगर आपको फॉलो करना है, केटा बाल्डे had to recently admit that he had an affair with Wanda Nara.
Yeah, he came out and said that. Yeah.
Because उसका वीडियो लीक हो गया था ना of him dancing with Wanda Nara and all in a or something. So he had to admit, and he signed for Monza, by the way, Keita Balde.
I was just going to say that he signed for Monza. Like, what the hell, man?
तो अभी भाई
He's a
यही
bench
बचा
leader का
है.
signing. बाकी है.
Sometimes I wish the Kardashians were in India.
Yeah.
क्या content
अरे
है?
भाई,
The
I
media
now-
trials and
FIR
everything.
FIR हो जाता था.
I now wish.
Exactly. The media trial,
हाँ.
जो उनका villainization होता, मजा आता.
Yeah. अरे भाई,
I now wish that Icardi had signed for Napoli when he was going behind Inter's back, Yogesh, and secretly holding talks with Napoli, and Brozovic spotted them in a hotel. ये सब stories अपने को अलग एक short पे डालना पड़ेगा, because there is even a whole story where Brozovic caught them secretly meeting in a hotel with Napoli representatives. I really wish he had signed for Napoli. मतलब उधर एक
And
TDA
if you remember, this is
हाँ
like after I guess Icardi was sacked as captain. एक rumor आया था that it was Brozovic who's having an affair with Vandanara. So वो
that
I
also
don't know
went to
how that
court.
came into
Yeah.
being.
So that went to court, and then the person who made that rumor up had to publicly apologize to Brozovic because he
हाँ, yeah.
admitted he was lying. So he had to admit that in court. पर बहुत फनी चीज थी यार, इस पे शायद अलग एक शॉर्ट बार योगेश तू जब ठीक हो जाएगा तब बताना भाई, हम लोग रुके तेरे से कुछ सुनने के लिए, बट वो बार बार फ्रीज हो रहा है इतना कि भाई
Freeze हो रहा है,
वो लग रहा है एक गैप एक पॉइंट पे कम हो गया ना, तो अभी योगेश कुछ बोलना नहीं चाहता है. But all jokes aside, when we say anything about referee, we become crybaby. Who's defending the referees? That's the whole point, right? I think you completely missed it. I think the whole point is we are criticizing the referees, but when people say there is agendas and here and there, the whole point is the shit decisions are also happening in the European competitions and in the league against all teams. So I think that's what you missed completely. Yeah, वो तो भाई वो तो बात ही मत करो. I think that's what he meant though to what Ajay bhai said. कौन सी ड्रिंक अजय भाई आप बता दो अगर
अरे
बताना चाहते हो.
वैसे सारे हमारे दर्शकों को और सारे पैनलिस्ट को हैप्पी वैलेंटाइंस डे हमारे तरफ से.
Yeah.
ड्रिंक
This
है,
is
ड्रिंक
this is
है,
my
ड्रिंक है. Need to answer his question. Drink है strawberry cider.
yeah strawberry side. This is by the way pure bullshit. Ericsson wife and Vertonghen. अगर आप
हाँ.
सब चीज बिलीव करना चालू करोगे then that's the problem. That
ओए
was
ओए
nothing.
ये क्या ये
अरे,
हार्ट
अरे.
का असर है. ओहो
हाँ
ओहो ओहो वापस कर योगेश.
हाँ वो बैक के थ्रू है ना, वो कर फिर से कर. चलो फ्रीज हो गया फिर से. नाइस टू हैव यू
वापस
भरगव. थोड़ा हाँ हाँ ये
ओहो नहीं मेरे को
वैलेंटाइंस डे पे
अच्छे
ये
से
सब योगेश वैलेंटाइंस डे के मूड में मुझे लग रहा है.
अच्छे से अच्छे से अच्छे से एक और
Yeah.
once more sorry चलो डन. ये हैंग ही हो गया.
योगेश का आज इंटरनेट अनरिलायबल है गाइस, उसको बख्श दो. तनवीर says Forza Inter. I'll come to the comments guys, don't worry. Siddhant is here. Nice to have you Siddhant. Happy birthday, thanks यार. प्री सीजन नहीं, हम लोग आर्सेनल से तो ज्यादा जीतेंगे पक्का ना. रवि क्या बोलता है? ऑलरेडी हार गए हमसे भाई. Do you think Atalanta and Milan can come back? Yeah, I feel more. I think both will come back. I feel at home both will come back. Deepu, like मुझे तो पक्का लग रहा है. With all due respect to their opponents, I genuinely feel Feyenoord or Club Brugge played a lot on the atmosphere. If you saw the game, guys, like Feyenoord especially more than Brugge. Brugge still. Not saying Feyenoord were bad, not by any means. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा सर, Feyenoord में मस्त खेला. इगोर पाइशाव ने तो अगर आपने गेम देखा तो एमरसन रॉयल की बजा दी, मतलब सॉरी एमरसन बोला काइल वॉकर की बजा दी भाई. मतलब वॉकर वाज लाइक मैं खेलूंगा, मुझे लाइक देख के लगा कि हाँ जो भी बोल रहा था ना वॉकर साइनिंग के अगेंस्ट, they had a point when I saw that game. But yeah, guys, let's get back to discussion. We'll come to the comments, guys. Don't worry. But what should we go to Ajay bhai next? क्या बोलना चाहिए, क्या discuss करना चाहिए?
Do you quickly want to do a wrap up of the Milan Atalanta games, or do you want to head directly into Lazio versus Napoli, because we do have Yogesh?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we can direct because we I
Lazio
think
Napoli.
all had some sort of the other discourse over the UCL games. रनियरी के बारे में हमने बात क्योंकि वो एक पूरा रेफरिंग इशू था, तो we touched upon it.
चिंतन आएगा तो जब चिंतन आएगा तो we can quickly briefly actually just
this is very dicey na. I don't think Chintan, I don't know if he'll be able to come. But yeah,
I definitely want to talk about Theo Hernandez, uska pink hairstyle, like Ravi has mentioned.
Hairstyle is better, not better I would say, but more fancy than the performances for sure. Like that.
उसका hairstyle reminded me of वो पहले chewing-gum आती थी ना, Boomer. I think Boomer. वो proper
Boomer की याद दिला दी.
Boomer chewing-gum types था वो.
Yeah, बहुत खाता था मैं वो. But yeah, guys, we'll come to your comments. Don't worry, guys. Let's start with Lazio Napoli. Yogesh, तेरे से तू ठीक है ना भाई, तेरे को सुनाई दे रहा है, पहले वो कंफर्म कर. तू बात कर सकता है, पहले वो कंफर्म कर. ये क्यों कर रहा है भाई? ये तो इकार्डी का सेलिब्रेशन है. तुझे इकार्डी चाहिए क्या अभी नापोली में? But all jokes aside, Yogesh, Lazio Napoli, obviously Napoli इसके पहले ड्रॉ किया उडिनेजे के अगेंस्ट, एंड टू बी फेयर आई वुड से उडिनेजे डिजर्व्ड दैट ड्रॉ. विद ऑल, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस बिकॉज अपन दोनों रेस में, बट आई सॉ द गेम ऑब्वियसली एंड आई फेल्ट उडिनेजे डेफिनेटली डिजर्व्ड समथिंग फ्रॉम दैट. क्या बोलते हैं पहले तो ब्रीफली उस गेम के बारे में बिफोर वी मूव ऑन, बिकॉज आई रियली फील y'all were like very all over the place, not very all over the place, but जैसे गोल भी कंसीड किया ना, तुम लोग क्या कर रहे थे मेरे को गोल पे समझा नहीं एक तो. If you saw, obviously you must have seen the goal. क्या
Yeah.
बोलता है तू इसके very briefly?
यार बिफोर द मैच मैंने बोला भी था कि आई डोंट एक्सपेक्ट टू दिस लाइनअप टू कीप अ क्लीन शीट एंड सॉर्ट ऑफ वही हुआ. वी कंसीडर्ड अ वेरी चीप गोल, लाइक बॉल आउटसाइड जा रहा था, माजोकी पास्कल माजोकी लाइक जस्ट हिट इट, गिव इट टू अ उडिनेसे प्लेयर, एंड Meret was out of position at that point, and we directly conceded the goal after scoring a wonderful goal. Yeah, McTominay rose very high to meet the header, and match makes that मुझे पता चला था कि Udinese and Napoli are the only clubs who have not conceded headed goals this season.
Yeah.
तो
Good one to point out. Yeah, बोल.
McTominay broke that, and McTominay अच्छा खेल रहा था, but यार डिफेंस में without Buongiorno and without Oliveira now as well, we are missing big time these players. And Juanizes and Mazzocchi, as much as I like all Napoli players, they are not up to scratch for a Scudetto run here. So we really need Buongiorno back.
Fair enough. Ajay, I'll just be back in 1 sec. Can you, if you want to share that footmob ka link, I'll share it with you. Just need to attend to a call. You can continue the discussion. Just 1 minute में आ जाता हूँ. मैंने private chat पे डाला है. Just reshare it. I'll just be back.
Okay. Yogesh, yaar, Conte is going back to his 3-5-2. That is what the rumors are saying.
Yeah.
मैंने जब I saw this on Twitter कि Conte allegedly going back to 3-5-2 with Politano as left wing back.
Right wing back.
Right wing back. तो फिर लेफ्ट में कौन खेलेगा?
लेफ्ट में Oh yeah, actually Di Lorenzo अगर right में खेलेगा तो
वही.
Yeah, he was left wing back.
Yeah, so Mazzocchi, Juan Jesus and Remani. If Buongiorno comes back, then it's Buongiorno. Right wing back is your GDL, and left wing back is Politano. And that's a position he's never ever played in his life.
Yeah.
That's the thing ना with Conte. अब वही characteristics और 3-5-2 पे तो आएंगे हम लोग. वो तो I know. Abhijay also asked that question in the comments किसके बारे में क्या. I am personally not surprised because उसके पास options नहीं. But we'll come to that. इस गेम से थोड़ा और बोलना चाहूँगा. If anybody wants to add, please do so. But Udinese के बारे में जो मैं बार-बार बोलता हूँ, to give them credit यार. Costa Unionic, every time they lose or something, there is that one game where they immediately bounce back. And I've been singing his praises about his man management, but tactically also very sound coach और दिखा रहा है. मतलब I was not really surprised, Yogesh, when Udinese got a draw against you. Like, जैसे तू बोला ना कि तू expect कर रहा था Napoli concede करेगी. I don't know, internally I had a feeling, not because, obviously मेरे को Inter और उसका gap का था, but objectively I had a feeling Udinese would get something in this game. Now, I don't know. And that's mainly down to their coach. So you have to give them credit, and they held Napoli very well. मतलब Napoli को लोग ने I wouldn't say blueprint per se, but they had a good idea of how to kind of nullify Napoli. Just say Yogesh, I understand, obviously all had absentees, but even in the midfield, yeah, they got the better of you in my opinion. Barring McTominay, I feel अगर तू गेम देखेगा वापस जाके तू टोवेन का वर्क रेट देखेगा उधर, लॉवरिच, काल्स्ट्रम, ये सब अच्छा कंबाइन करके दे आउटप्लेड लोबोटका एंड अंगीसा ऑन द नाइट. एंड लुकाकू तो चलो बात ही नहीं करते, उसने कुछ ज्यादा किया नहीं फिर से गेम में. बट anyways, Ajay and Yogesh, Kosto, we all want to add something on this before we move to last.
Kosto, what a goal from Udinese, man. It was like a proper throwback to the good old days, like, Quagliarella or a Miccoli scoring those bangers in Serie A, or a two-guy or a Jesper Gronkier scoring some, bangers in the Premier League. वो इरा वाला गोल था यार, क्या मजा आया गोल देख. Like, I mean,
I'm pulling it up.
And I feel like it's very. If say Napoli had won the game, and going into this weekend, where both teams play a big game each, it sort of tilts it somewhat in Inter ka favor. I won't say in their favor, but it feels like things are changing. So it's like if Napoli had won against Udinese, they would have gone into a major weekend with the confidence that even if we drop points, we'll still be at the top. Even if they lose against Lazio or get a draw or whatever. So it's like it's a wrong time to drop that points, those 2 points. And we know after that game, we've had 2 Conte press conferences where he's absolutely barked,
Yeah,
including
उसके पहले
the
भी उसकी
Aaj
बात
ka
थी.
press conference. So it's like, it gives you the impression that maybe he doesn't have it under control
Yeah.
anymore, and that comes at the wrong time. So I feel like, I have a feeling that they'll drop points against Lazio, and this is when the entire picture shifts.
Hmm.
If there was a
What do you
time
say?
to throw a tantrum na Yogesh, I feel Ajay bhai,
Hmm.
it should have been the January market, which he did,
Yeah.
which would have जो ज्यादा जस्टिफाइबल होता क्योंकि क्वारा का रिप्लेसमेंट आ नहीं रहा था और ऑब्वियसली आया तो भी ओकाफोर के फॉर्म में आया. तो दिस इज एज कॉस्तो वेरी राइटली पॉइंटेड आउट, मुझे लगता है एक गलत टाइम है. बिकॉज कैसा ना योगेश, ऐसा नहीं कि उसके रैंट की वजह से तुम लोग ने गेम जीता, राइट? तुम लोग पॉइंट्स नहीं उठाए. आइडियली इन एन आइडियल वर्ल्ड व्हाट शुड बी हैपनिंग इज कॉन्टे के रैंट से प्लेयर्स फायर अप होते, आप 3 पॉइंट घर लाते हो. That's not been happening. I'm not saying that can't happen against Lazio. That can, but based on his past 2-3 rants, the following games he's dropped points. That's the reality, right? And Costu has a valid point. Ki this, it does kind of feel like maybe the tide will turn around. I don't know. Obviously, वो तो देखना पड़ेगा. Once if we actually take you over, then maybe we can come to that. But ऐसा लग रहा है बाहर से कि वो थोड़ा ज्यादा, क्योंकि अपने को पता है उसकी वो आदत है ना डिफ्लेक्ट करने की ना, योगेश, वो प्लेयर्स पे प्रेशर नहीं आने देता. But the way he goes about it, na, ki the tone, the way he talks, it makes you think he's also kind of losing control. Not control, but you get the point. He's also doesn't have it in
He's
control.
flustered.
हाँ, वो flustered है. That's the correct word. He's not.
And plus, he's indirectly spoken about Inzaghi in his press conference ki wo VAR
Yeah,
wala.
yeah, which is hilarious because he's also
Huh.
been a hypocrite with the referee calls and
Exactly.
everything, right? Every
So
coach
it's
has
like,
been a hypocrite, to be fair.
he
So
knows that Napoli have a big game, that
yeah,
Inter have a big game to play, and it's probably the right time to either somehow make sure that Inter use it in their favor or it goes against them. वो typical Conte mind games वाला
but that's the
comment
thing.
था. It
See,
was,
but that's the thing. Simone Inzaghi उसको direct reply नहीं देने वाला. Look, Simone Inzaghi, I know lashed out
yeah.
after the, but that's understandable because you saw it cost. तो बार बार उसको वही क्वेश्चन वीक से पूछ रहे थे और जब हमारे अगेंस्ट जब बोलोनिया का वो कॉल, the so many calls you saw went against us as well. So the point being, he was tired of the shit refereeing. So the point is, he's not going to reply to Conte from my understanding. वो डिफ्लेक्ट कर देगा. He's not going to attack Conte. मैं जानता हूँ उसको. But this is where I feel, what is Conte's plan exactly? Like, is it really? I side with Costo more here, Ajay, but you give me your thoughts because I really feel थोड़ा उस calmness जा रहा है वो Napoli, and this should not be happening जैसे Costo, because they're playing one game a week. कुछ नहीं है और टेंशन लोगों को, एक गेम खेलना है सिर्फ, लोगों को उस गेम पे फोकस
and
करना है.
plus,
हाँ,
अब talk about formation change and everything. That should not be happening at this point because हमें पता है कि it's not a 3-5-2 squad. मतलब
Yeah.
the basis of it is not a 3-5-2 squad. And after all this, no Quara replacement, all these press conferences that
yeah,
points dropped against Udinese, a formation change. So, I mean, like, देख के लग रहा है कि something's up.
Yeah, he also was not happy. He kind of said ना, the Okafor signing is not enough indirectly. But
Yeah.
आज जब वापस आएंगे तो उनका थॉट्स ले. योगेश, तू क्या बोलता है ये सब के बारे में? थोड़ा ब्रीफली तेरे को क्या लगता है एज अ फैन?
कुछ नहीं यार, जीत जाएंगे तो ये सब का कुछ चिंता नहीं है.
नहीं,
Precisely.
बट वो पार्टली ट्रू है, बट पॉइंट वही है ना, वो रैंटिंग बंद नहीं करने वाला, उसकी रैंट्स चलेगी, राइट?
वो थोड़ा जनवरी साइनिंग में थोड़ा सा नापोली हैज बीन ऑन द लूजिंग एंड ऑफ द जनवरी ट्रांसफर मार्केट. तो थोड़ा सा लाइक फ्रस्ट्रेशन डेवलप होना, इट आई थिंक इट इज just human.
It's valid, but my point is, Yogesh, तू कॉस्टम ने जो बोला टाइमिंग देख. Why could he have not done this when the Jan window had just started? You get my point. Maybe the club would have been a bit more under pressure to find a better replacement, right? To get the, I know club try कर रहा था वैसे भी, but maybe शायद थोड़ा और better काम कर लेते. So it's just the timing that I don't understand personally. But ठीक है, your point is also valid कि एक गेम जीतो तो चीजें बदल जाती है. And with Napoli, if you beat Lazio, then suddenly everything will be look good because you would have beaten Lazio, who are themselves doing very well. But let's get to the game, guys. मैं अजय भाई के thoughts उस पे ले लूंगा. Let me just pull up, क्योंकि आज बोलोनिया टोरिनो है by the way. पहले interesting game. Wait, did Bologna or Torino not just happened recently, or am I missing something?
हाँ, that's what I was thinking. कि अभी तो
Yeah,
हुआ था, I
exactly.
guess Jan May or
वही,
something.
exactly. अभी तो हुआ था, like what the fuck. But
Hmm.
anyways, yeah, I'm just pulling up the predicted lineup. Comments पे आएंगे guys, as अगर आपको बैनर में जैसे सॉरी बैनर बदल दिया, but please like, share and subscribe if you like what we do. Again, the growth is, we're growing in a good direction, so let's keep that going. I'm assuming this is visible. ये formation आ जानी चाहिए थोड़ी देर में. हाँ,
Hmm.
ये दिख रहा है. हाँ, अरे यार ये इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट हो गया. गुड मॉर्निंग जॉन जीसस.
Good morning.
जॉन जीसस वाज फनी. जॉन जीसस वाज फनी. आई डोंट नो व्हाई. बट गाइस, मैं योगेश तेरे पे आता हूं, बट आई स्टार्ट विद कौस्तुभ. क्या बोलता है कौस्तुभ? ये प्रेडिक्टेड लाइनअप है लाजियो और नापोली का. प्रोवेडेल ऑब्वियसली गोल में मेरिट उस नापोली के लिए. टावारेस, हीला, रोमानियोली, रोवेला, गुएंडूजी, इजाक्सन, पेड्रो, जकानी, Castellanos, और उधर वो 3-5-2 which is being spoken about obviously, जो अभिजय ने कमेंट्स में पूछा था. Will this work? Tall short striker combination जो Conte was known for in the past. But that back three, Juan Jesus, Buongiorno, Rachmani, Politano left wing back. क्या and just before you give your thoughts, obviously Politano, Mazzocchi का डाउट है कि कौन खेलेगा. Marusic, Lazzari, Pedro, Dele Bashiru. There's a lot of, and obviously जो available नहीं है, Vecino, Patrick, Husay, बुलाई दिया, Matias Oliveira, Spinazzola, Neres injured हो गया, by the way. He's out for around what 20-30 days ना.
Yeah.
Yeah, पर क्या बोलते हो आप लोग? पहले चालू करता हूँ मैं कौस्तुभ से, then one by one we can all give our thoughts. क्या बोलते हो?
I honestly feel कि even when Napoli were playing a back four, a lot of times they were a back three. Especially rest defense position में, they were a back three a lot of times. And I guess the reason why Juan Jesus is playing is because he has that. We know he's not great. He's not good either. But one thing that he can do is maybe out of position, he can cover as a left back if the need be. So the way I'm thinking is, because Politano is not your wing back. While building from the back, Juan Jesus will essentially be a left back, and Politano will be quite advanced, and Di Lorenzo will be slightly deeper, and Anguissa will probably cover that right right space, not a winger, but हमने देखा है कि वो काफी advanced खेल रहा है आजकल, तो I guess he'll be fairly advanced on the right. So that's how we expect it to be. But I guess Lazio are fairly straightforward because I don't think there's any change to that side. Dele Bashiru is half fit. I guess he's probably not fully fit, and he's not starting games week in week out. So I guess Lazio that is pretty much it. Tavares was back already, so I guess that's it for them. I don't think Belaina is ready to play every game, so I guess वो bench पे ही होगा.
क्या बोलते? And Napoli, what would you say about Napoli?
I guess quite the same. Buongiorno is back after that longer injury. That Juan Jesus thing. I feel like Conte is about to, in a couple of weeks, presuming results कैसे जाते हैं, next two results, Conte will go absolutely wild in a press conference. And the target will be the January transfer window. He throws toys out of his cart and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he goes wild. But it is what it is. Gilmore is not that starter out there. We know that Anguissa and McTominay are playing in that advanced role. And interesting part is this Raspadori inclusion, because Conte has praised him a lot recent weeks. So it's
but
sort of
not obviously used him a lot.
I mean, when Engon's played in the cup, he was decent at times, but I guess वही problem है, the Politano at Inter वाला problem. So he's not getting a shout. So I guess, and Okafor, I read some reports that Okafor is not even fit. He's not even fully fit. Uska is out for a couple of weeks. वो बस namesake के लिए bench पे है basically. So
because
I guess
just to
that's
add
pretty much
something
it.
because just before you continue, because actually क्या हुआ था ना, योगेश अजय and Kostov की Okafor को recently interview किया था, and he said at Napoli, part of the statement was at Napoli we work harder. So obviously AC Milan fans on social media did not like that. So वो beef चल रहा था Napoli और Milan fans के बीच में social media पे, because he said at Napoli we work harder. He could have just said at Napoli we work very hard. वो harder नहीं बोलता तो वो comparison भी नहीं होता, and so पूरा beef चल रहा है. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that before you continue, Kostab. Go ahead.
No, that's about it. I guess Napoli quite the same squad. I don't see any significant change.
Guys, I love how the English translation has taken
Yeah,
over.
I kept it intentionally क्योंकि मैं वो दिखाना चाहता था. देखो, for example,
Buongiorno.
Bye Lorenzo, good morning, John Jesus is
Rahman.
the funniest.
John Jesus,
Peter,
man.
Pedro is Peter, man.
Peter.
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 Rahman is
ये
Rahman.
ना
हाँ,
ये these sound like absolute Indian names. Like
yeah,
Peter
रहमान
is a
रहमान
very
तो भाई
generic.
मुझे, हाँ बोलो बोलो.
Peter is a very generic Goa name, like such a generic Goa name.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
one Jesus sounds like a single malt that's made in India. And
Yeah.
रहमान
I
चाचा
really
तो आपको
wish-
मिल ही जाएंगे हर गली में नुक्कड़ में.
Yeah, I really wish there was an English name for Politano. I really wish. पर देखते इधर कोई फनी बेंच पे भी नाम है कि नहीं. बिलिंग, अरे यार बेंच पे तो सब ठीक है यार, बेंच पे कुछ गलत है ही नहीं यार.
हाँ.
अभी तो उधर भी कुछ yeah, there is no error here, but this is quite funny. और यूवेंटस इंटर का देखेंगे तब शायद कुछ फनी आ जाए. योगेश, पर तू बहुत Kosto has given his thoughts. Sorry Yogesh, I'll come to you. अजय, आप आपके थॉट्स दो. क्या बोलते हो? Anything you would do differently in terms of the line?
Quickly, just to echo what Kostov said, because I want Yogesh's thoughts on this.
Yeah,
Because
of course.
his Napoli team, his Conte, his Scudetto race. So, yeah, I think Conte is now playing with his last card. This is his last card. ये जैसे कॉस्टोव ने बोला ना कि he has come down to this. अगर if things go south, which ironically Napoli are one of the most southernmost teams here. If things go south, then wo press conference, the Tottenham press conference, if you guys remember the way that he said, expect a sequel to that, But if things go well, Conte would be like, look, I did it. You did not support me. Ye maine kiya. I am the coach and I am the best, and he will just do his own khud ke tareef karega, and like he'll get away with it. It could go either way. I don't see it going any other way.
I agree, Yogesh. Before you take over, I agree, because जब भी ऐसी चीजें होती है ना, मैंने ये पॉइंट आउट किया था when you all hired Conte, right? I still remember the day like the day the 2021 season ended, and उसका इंटरव्यू था इंटर टीवी पे, इंटर्स obviously in-house media channel, and उसको पूछा था who do you dedicate this Scudetto to? मुझे लगा बोलेगा वाइफ, डॉटर, फैमिली, माय डैड, ऐसा कुछ बोलता है. डेडिकेट द Scudetto to myself because I only know what I have to do.
मैं अपना फेवरेट हूँ.
मैंने उसके
when Napoli won the Scudetto under Spalletti, if you look at Spalletti's quotes after they won the title, he dedicated the Scudetto to the city and gave a very poetic answer ki working class and everything. Conte will be the exact opposite.
उल्टा. अरे वो बोलेगा I dedicated to myself my house in Lecce, my horse in Lecce, my dog in Lecce.
Antonio Conte is basically the poo of Italian coaches.
नहीं, but all jokes aside,
Geet of Jab Bhi Met.
Geet of Jab Bhi Met. That's a more accurate comparison. Yeah. But I remember, because at the time when he said that, I was kind of in support, because I knew obviously players biking, but then now when I reflected on it after a few days, I realized how ridiculous of a quote it was. He literally said, I dedicated to myself. I know what I had to go through, all the hard work I've put in. मैं बोला भाई तो अपने coaching staff को भी, because coaching staff में, if you guys remember, we had Antonio Pintus, who is obviously known to be one of the best fitness coaches, right? Fitness trainers in the world. तो सला बोला Antonio Pintus को भी dedicate करता, तेरे daughter को भी dedicate करता, whom you have named Victoria, which translates to victory. No, but he dedicated it to himself, and I was like, भाई सही है बंदा ये योगेश. But
ये पूरे जब भी मैं एनालॉजी में ना, अगर गीत is Antonio Conte, then Aditya is Yogesh. एकदम शाहिद कपूर, ऐसा एकदम शांत, नैना
हाँ
तेरे कजरा रहे हैं.
योगेश क्या बोलता है, वो सब तो बाद में बात कर लेंगे यार, जब बात की चीजें बाद में. पर तू क्या बोलता है ये गेम के बारे में, क्या फीलिंग है, क्या लाइनअप्स दोनों में, क्या लगता है दोनों टीम के बारे में, शायद कुछ.
लाइक अगर मैं कॉन्टे की जगह होता तो मैं इतना ट्वीक नहीं करता, 3-5-2 पे जाता नहीं. 4-3-3 पे सिंपली बुंजोर्नो कम्स बैक, माजोकी को बेंच पे डालो और हुआनिजस को लेफ्ट बैक में खिलाओ, एंड रेस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स रिमेन सेम. रास्पाडोरी स्टार्ट्स एट लेफ्ट विंग फॉरवर्ड और ही कैन प्ले मोर सेंट्रली. तो 3-5-2 इतना करने की जरूरत पता नहीं. कॉन्टे माइट सी थिंग्स डिफरेंटली, बट स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट असेट नापोली का तो इट इज द मिडफील्ड यार. द मिडफील्ड इज आवर स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट असेट राइट नाउ, एंड अगर वो क्लिक होगा देन उडेनीजे काफी लो ब्लॉक में खेल रही थी दैट डे, एंड उडेनीजे वो वेरी आर वेरी फिजिकल एज वेल, right?
Yeah,
They are the
exactly.
tallest teams in Serie A as well. So I'm expecting a different challenge by Lazio. Lazio would be a little bit more open, and Lukaku last match में कुछ उसका like था ही नहीं. He didn't get much service. Did he
Yeah.
do much? So I'm expecting more from him here. तो midfield है, midfield के दम पे हम लोग जीत सकते हैं. Otherwise, if Juan Iges and Mazzocchi both play, then I don't see us keeping a clean sheet. But with Buongiorno and Juan Iges, we have a clean sheet.
या बुंजोर्नो आने से चीजें बहुत बदली. लाजो के बारे में क्या बोलता है योगेश, बिकॉज दे हैव बीन फ्लाइंग, दे हैव बीन डूइंग वेल, एंड वी हैव सीन कि उनके साथ ना, ये तेरे लिए मैं पूछ रहा हूँ बिकॉज दे हैव टर्न्ड अप इन मोस्ट ऑफ देयर गेम्स, बट सम बिग गेम्स दे हैव बीन फ्लैट. मतलब तू देखा ना, इंटर से 6-0 हार गए थे, इफ यू गाइस रिमेंबर दैट गेम. मतलब वी एब्सोल्युटली स्मैश्ड देम. एंड मे हाउ आई सी दिस इज ना योगेश, बिफोर यू गिव योर 2 cents ऑन लाजियो, Conte, जैसे अजय और कौस्तुभ ने बोला, Conte is going back to his bread and butter, right? He's going back to his known formation. The question is, has he been kind of training this behind the scenes? Has he been kind of discussing those principles with the team anyways, so that they're ready to make the shift? If they're ready, then I expect a good display, because Lukaku thrives in a 3-5-2. He thrives with a link-up striker, and we know Raspadori on his day can be a good link-up player, right?
For
If
sure.
they're ready to do that, I can see this transition working. But at the same time, they've not tried this on the pitch so far. Matlab, for the larger period, na, they've not done all this. Can Juan Jesus suddenly be a good left center back in a back three, right? Being a good left center back in a back four is a different thing. But in a back three, it's more demanding. And then ठीक है, Buongiorno है आपके बाजू में, बट वो भी कितना करेगा? वो Juan Jesus के लिए कवर करता बैठेगा कि वो सीसीबी का रोल संभालेगा, उधर कमांड करेगा? Lobotka is fine. Lobotka, I don't see any problems. He'll be fine. Anguissa, McTominay also I think will be fine. Anguissa, I'll be a bit curious. I'll tell you. I know he's having a great season, but Anguissa has always struck me as that kind of player ना कि जब आप कुछ बदलो ना, चेंज करो, उसको थोड़ा अडेप्ट होने में टाइम लगता है. That has happened in the last few years. This, as Ajay pointed out, this is very interesting. This Politano, if he actually ends up playing as a proper out and out left wing back. So I don't know, like I feel this will work, Yogesh, थोड़ा. I don't think it will be a catastrophe. मतलब इतना खराब नहीं होएगा. I feel शायद कुछ unexpectedly आप लोग अच्छा करोगे. Now whether that leads to a win, I don't know, but I feel unexpectedly this change might benefit you. क्या बोलता है तू योगेश? वो तो ठीक है, तूने तो बोल दिया, बट तू लाजियो के बारे में क्या बोलता है?
Lazio are doing quite good here. Like no one expected this season much from them, but they are doing quite good in Serie A and in Europe as well. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a very strong challenge from them. And Pedro is still shining at his age. So that is a hat tip to him, man.
Pedro नहीं, पीटर भाई, पीटर पीटर. बढ़िया, नहीं बोल.
Yeah. And their midfielder is also quite solid here. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a very good battle.
यार डेफिनेटली, अगर आप बेंचेस भी देखोगे दोनों टीम के, मांडास, कुफे, ऑब्वियसली जीगो आई डोंट रेट, बट डेले बशीरू भी अच्छा खेल रहा है. अच्छा, बेलायन इज अ गुड एडिशन एज कॉस्ट ऑफ सेट, बट वो शायद से अभी के लिए रेडी ना हो. ऑब्वियसली उनके थोड़े एब्सेंटीज है, मतलब वेसिनो नहीं है, एंड वेसिनो इज बीइंग डूइंग फॉर लाजियो, ही इज डिसेंट. हुसाई जो इंजरी से वापस आ गया था फिर से, बुलाई दिया, ऑब्वियसली इज नॉट.
By the way, Noslin has Napoli's number from the
Noslin, thanks for
Cup
reminding.
game.
Correct.
On the bench.
That's true. That's a good point. Bulai Dia वापस आ जाए तो it's good only for them. Let's see if he is back. थोड़ा टाइम तो है इस गेम को, Billy Gilmore है, Philip Billing है, obviously for Napoli. Other than that, obviously, if you ask me, sorry, Yogesh, your bench doesn't really excite me per se. तुम लोग ने तो मारिन की तो वाट ही लगा दिया, मतलब कॉन्टे उसको खिलाता ही नहीं है. बिली गिल, आई मीन सॉरी, उसको छोड़ के, आई मीन जियो सिमेओने, एनगॉन, ओकाफोर तो भी देखते हैं, बट एनगॉन एंड सिमेओने यार, रियली आई डोंट नो व्हाट टू से अबाउट दीस टू. Obviously, Oliveira is a big miss for Napoli. But guys, let's, before I get to the resume with the comments, इस गेम का prediction ले ही लेते हैं सबसे. I'll start with Ajay bhai.
Going for Lazio 1, Napoli 2. Away win for the Parthenope. Forza
और क्या
Yogesh.
गोल स्कोरर्स कौन हो?
Uh, Lukaku will score against Lazio. Yeah,
As you
probably
would
I'm
want.
expecting as I would want, hopefully. But I expect this to be a very tight game. I think just that I just feel that Conte with his bread and butter 3-5-2 might just edge it and nick it, and he would celebrate it, and he knows that Inter have a tough game against Juve. That's like the last, it's on Sunday night, so Saturday go he's got a chance to uh, widen that gap once again to 4 points. So I think he's going to go all out. I'm expecting a tough game. Lazio are not a easy opponent to beat, but I think Napoli are going to win away from home. Yogesh.
I'll go for a draw. I think, I don't know. I feel, मुझे लग रहा है कहीं तो Lazio will be caught off guard, but again, I also feel the tweak in tactics might hamper Napoli a bit. But with that being said, I think the X factor for Napoli will be Buongiorno only, because Buongiorno जब खेलता है Napoli generally अच्छा खेलती है. ये नहीं बोला जाता कि बुंजोर्नो ने एरर्स नहीं किए, उसने किए एरर्स ये सीजन में. आई रिमेंबर द गेम अगेंस्ट एसी मिलान वेरी वेल, where Napoli won, but Buongiorno was very error prone. I remember that. But I feel he makes a big difference. So I'll still go for a draw, 1-1 draw, and I feel maybe लाजियो के लिए कास्टेयानोस ही मारेगा, और नापोली के लिए आई फील, या नापोली के लिए आई फील मे बी लुकाकू स्कोर्स, नॉट मैक्टोमिने दिस टाइम. तो या, बट
I
कौस्तुभ
think
तू क्या?
I think McTominay can score. He's been scoring against a lot of small clubs.
या क्या बोलता है ये कौस्तुभ, तू क्या बोलता है बिफोर आई गो टू योगेश?
I was going to say 1-1. Lukaku scores because Lukaku generally उनके against score कर सकता है against the teams that play higher instead of playing deeper. उसका ज़्यादा chance होता है to score. And initially मेरे को लगा था I would say 2-0 to Napoli, but I would say 1-1 because Lazio know Napoli well previous game से cup
या
game से.
बैक टू बैक हराया था.
So
Back to back, yeah.
they somewhat know how to work them out. So I guess वो एक it's not an unknown thing for them anymore. उनको पता है कि this is Napoli's game to lose. If they lose, it changes the season for them. So I guess I would say 1-1. Lukaku scores and उधर से Castellanos.
क्या बोलता है योगेश, तेरा क्या प्रेडिक्शन है?
Yeah, with Buongiorno coming back, I really want, and I can see that we can keep a clean sheet. So I would go with a 1-0 Napoli win.
और गोल स्कोरर?
Goal scorer.
One Jesus. One Jesus.
जॉन जीसस.
John Jesus.
Goal scorer
Against
का
his
नहीं होगा.
former city rivals.
क्या बोल रहे हो
I'll be
योगेश?
happy if Lobotka chimes in with a goal this time.
Interesting.
I also feel that even Raspadori is going to get a goal in this game. Somehow, if because Conte is trying to do that Lula, Lautaro, Lukaku thing over here with Napoli with Raspadori. So I think
I feel
their
like
front line
because Buongiorno is back, that is one
Yeah.
reason why he's going back to a back three, to a 3-5-2. Plus, उससे क्या होगा? They'll still have an extra man in attack because Raspadori will be in the box, Anguissa will be around the box, McTominay will be in the box. So they're basically trying to get an extra man in the box while having Buongiorno back. Unka the most. I know the level is low for individuals in the back line, but he raises the bar. So I guess Conte feels like maybe just rely on him to marshal that back line and have an extra man in the box, which is like thoda different from the cup game.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think we will next go to the Derby d'Italia Cup preview. But
Oh
before that, let
yes.
me get back to the comments. ये मैं कभी अग्री नहीं करूंगा रवि. You can't separate that in the sense कि ऐसे तो करना चालू किया तो भाई then Greenwood is a तो भाई Greenwood को तुम सपोर्ट करना चालू कर दोगे. Then you'll start supporting Benjamin Mendy. It's very easy to. It's a very क्या बोलूं, simply I'll say it's a very fine line between the two. You can't separate. Deserby भी he defends all these people, but then next day you'll say he's just a coach. He's a professional
Hmm.
coach. ये वो. But the reality is he says Greenwood is his boy. He loves Greenwood. Then that so you get the point, right? So you can't
Hmm.
really separate that, and it is what it is. You being an Arsenal
Plus,
fan,
I
your club
guess
employee.
what, like psychologically, say if a player
Hmm.
is a certain way,
Uh,
it makes him into the individual that he is, and it also makes him the player that he is. So it's like there's a commonality between both. How do I
absolutely.
say it in severance terms?
Hmm.
Your sides. कि एक ऐसा inherent, there are inherent traits that make you a certain way as a person, and the same can define how you are as a player. So
Yeah.
uh, if you, I guess, delve deeper, it's like you can't separate it. Although I get the point, but
Hmm.
too difficult. Like,
Too difficult.
people do it as well, but
That's sad. But guys, before we continue, Yogesh has to leave. योगेश क्या बोलता है डार्बी डीटा लेके प्रेडिक्शन और एक क्लोजिंग नोट देके जा तेरे एंड से.
Yeah, Derby Day Italia, like I don't see
वो
Juventus
मत बोला
doing much.
what I
I
want
think
to
it's
happen. What I want to happen सबको पता है. I know you will have to be
नहीं,
rooting
मैं
for
objectively बोला, like Juventus have been not been there this season.
Hmm.
Hello. So I'm expecting Inter to win quite easily. Yeah. Like it's Derby Day
Easily.
Italia, सब hype बना रहे हैं, but I
Routine
don't
win.
see Inter doing much in
रूटीन
it.
में. और कुछ बोलना चाहता है तू before you go? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'm expecting Inter to win handsomely. That's my prediction.
अरे बाप रे, ये तो अलग जिंक्स लेवल, ये तो अलग ही
ये
जिंक्स हो
jinx
गया.
कर रहा है.
Jinx कर रहा है,
Yeah.
but his internet crashed, so his internet is not having it. His internet has black and blue blood or black and blue whatever wiring inside it, or whatever router has black and blue wiring. योगेश, so संभल के रहे भाई, तेरा इंटरनेट तो तेरी बातें नहीं सुन रहा. But yeah, यार योगेश, thanks for chipping in. Mostly शायद I think Lazio Napoli is at 10:30 on Saturday, right?
Hmm.
शायद उस गेम का वॉच अलोंग कर ले शायद. तो तभी अवेलेबल रहना योगेश, इफ यू कैन, इफ वी माइट डू इट. ठीक है.
Yeah, yeah.
सो सी यू योगेश, अपन कंटिन्यू करते. तब तक स्ट्रीम
Bye guys.
बाय बाय. कहाँ पर गया यार वो कमेंट, उधर में कहाँ रुका था. वन सेक, वेयर इज द कमेंट इसका. हाँ, सॉरी हियर. Yeah, we discussed this, Deepu. Yes, I personally feel they can. Siddhan, nice to have you. Sule getting more minutes. Yeah, थोड़ा तो मतलब इधर उधर मिल रहा है. Yes, they're definitely crucial for both teams for sure. अपने लिए तो title race, UA के लिए भी for the Champions League spots. Yeah, I understand that's fine. I mean, Icardi, he is a controversial personality. There's no denying that. Yeah, he did, मतलब, but they got smashed here. They got smashed in that game. योगेश भाई कुछ वो है, सॉरी ये तो तब का था, when he got frozen is. नहीं, I mean it's 2 games here, you can't judge so soon. You can't. Football, I know reactionary बन चुका है, but you can't judge on 2 games. I always felt Monza was not the right place to loan because Monza have been
Hmm.
terrible. I felt Monza if players sign कर रहे हैं to try and save their season, I feel he could have been loaned elsewhere.
Yeah.
I know Bayer Leverkusen were interested, but Bayer Leverkusen also wanted like a buy option, which Inter didn't want to put. So it is what it is. I just hope वो minutes से थोड़ा. And the thing is, what you guys saw him make those errors. He's learning. वो Argentine division में जब खेल रहा था, it was not like he was one of the best defenders. He was still a raw player. So the errors he's making, part and parcel of the game. यार, मतलब he's slow, but ठीक है, he's going to learn. It is what it is. We sent him to Monza. Now we have to deal with it. Yeah, that's true. I remember him posting a photo saying he's
Hmm.
injured, but then Inter posted an official reply saying he's not injured. Nice to have you, Bhargav. Again, Ericsson का तो कुछ था नहीं. Sorry, I took that. Yogesh bhai is flexing his MacBook, Ajay bhai flexing iPhone. Garib stream for the audience. Opinion very shortly, if anybody one of you wants to give a very brief opinion on this.
Very briefly, I think Feyenoord should have scored more and put the game to bed. I guess Milan only had a couple of chances. एक वो Joao Felix वाला chance था where he cut inside and took a shot. Beyond that, I can't remember much. And Feyenoord were on fire, especially on the break. So I thought should have easily been about 2 or 3, but
3-0 हो सकता
that
था यार कॉस्टो
Yeah,
easy.
आराम से
Give them a
आराम
chance.
से
yeah,
and they're going to regret this because their record in Italy is crap and Milan
yeah.
Hmm.
at home backed
Especially
by
with a new manager. I
हाँ
know he beat Milan, but still a new manager regardless.
yeah
Yeah, and that's the thing, na, कि Feyenoord ने obviously history create की कि they won a knockout game in like decades for the first time in the Champions
Yeah.
League. But even then, जैसे आप लोग ने बोला यार, they could have won by more and probably should have. Joao Felix, जो भी आप जैसे बोले, Joao Felix was sort of the standout player, but it was not like he was great or anything per se.
Hmm.
Pavlovic, I would say, was at least showing some heart
yeah
on the pitch, which the other players
Pavlovich
lacked.
Pavlovich is a man transformed after
Hmm.
उसका लीग से आके को
I'm not,
छोड़ गया ना
yeah, definitely. I'm not surprised because वो उसमें था player लोग बहुत जल्दी जज कर दिया अजय आजकल मतलब
बिल्कुल
I know
बिल्कुल वो
उसके लिए
बिल्कुल
Bossman
ऑफर
got
आया
linked
था.
to Bossman got linked to Crystal Palace and said nah.
हाँ वो तो टोमोरी भी got linked to
स्पर्स के
Spurs
साथ
and
लिंक हुआ था
yeah, but as soon as I saw Theo with pink hair, I knew Milan are not winning this. That's funny. I can't for some reason this comment. Yeah,
Same. That's what I thought as well. Why is he
yeah,
with
that
pink
was
hair?
exactly Kyle Walker. Can I say I called
too
it
soon
too
too
soon,
soon
too
too
soon,
soon
too soon. Cambiaso is back. Yep. But ठीक है यार, he's been still otherwise तो अच्छा खेला उस बंदे ने. You can't blame him really. I have always said Santi Jimenez को जब तक तुम सर्विस अच्छा दे रहे हो वो अच्छा करेगा. उसका दूसरा areas are yet to develop. It will happen, I expect. But I think Costo and Ajay will also agree. He's that kind of a striker that really needs to have the players around him playing well. Why
yeah
do you think he doesn't perform as well for the Mexican national team? Even if the
Hmm.
yeah
Mexican national team is in a whole crisis, Mexican football
yeah
is in a whole crisis. He can be that one savior, but it doesn't happen, and there's a reason behind that because service ही नहीं है उस बंदे को. बुढ़िया के बाल का हेयर स्टाइल अरे बाप रे. I personally don't agree. I mean, अगर आप form से जाओगे, I still don't agree. And generally, also, I feel it's a very weird one because I feel दोनों still are not a very similar kind of players. I feel they still feel they're very different. I don't consider Theo a wing back per se. I consider him a traditional sort of fullback.
The traditional
Yeah,
left back full back
yeah. And Di Marco on the other hand is a
Hmm.
wing back, not a traditional fullback. So I personally never really get into that comparison, but I again differ. I feel Di Marco अगर मेरे को pick करना है तो मैं तो Di Marco pick करूंगा. But then that's just opinions at the end of the day. Yeah, obviously we know what that is. Yeah, of course. मतलब हम लोग
अरे
वही
हम
era से
सोबो हम लोग सारे सोबो बॉयज ही है साउथ ऑफ बोरीवली
yeah. हम लोग वो era से भी grow up हुए हैं भाई. आजकल तो कोई बोलता नहीं है वो, but we know. Uh, he's
I,
young, man.
but
He's young.
I think we can move on to
Yeah, I'll just take three,
the
four
Derby
more comments
d'Italia.
because we've missed a lot. Uh, fair enough, Ravi. I agree with you. Wow, interesting. If they go out, then
Same,
that's
same,
high. If they go out, right,
same.
guys, then Champions League qualification is a big problem because coefficient में Italy has dropped to third now and Spain is second. I think Costo will return. But yeah, Ajay bhai, it's a tough time if
I,
Milan get knocked out this early.
no, I don't think so. It's going to happen. I think Milan will go
Hmm.
through in this game.
Yeah. Let's take a couple more and then we can resume with the Derby d'Italia. Uh, yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, Monza is not the greatest place to be. But yeah, guys, I think Kosovo is also back. Let's start with the Derby d'Italia. Ajay, if you can make a banner for it or something. Uh, yeah, Derby d'Italia, I think, where do we want to start with this? How do we start
Let's
with this?
let's
आप ले
start
लो.
with UA's game against PSV in the in the Champions League. What did you guys make of the UA performance? Starting with you, Costa.
I felt it was pretty decent. I know वो 2-1 ही जीते, but I was sort of happy that Douglas Luiz had a good game.
He
Probably
did,
his
yes.
best game in a UA shirt. I thought,
Yeah.
huh, I know that they didn't create as much as they would want in an ideal scenario. Kolomwani had that chance, I'd say,
हाँ
from the left, as far as I remember. Uh, I felt it was a pretty decent performance. Like more of what Mota would want to see instead of your early on in the season, wo Cagliari against draw, results like that. Huh. The flip side is that goal they conceded was. People are blaming Lloyd Kelly for it, but I thought it was more of a structural error, not just a Lloyd Kelly error. He was bad, got spun by a finished Ivan Perisic. But again, I feel for Kelly, not because he's an excellent player or anything, but first Champions League game, first start for Juve, you
हाँ
could be worse. So I feel
हाँ
decent result, especially considering the way things are going and Douglas Luiz started. Could have
Yeah,
been like much worse because I think
yeah.
PSV didn't really have too many chances to themselves. वो एक chance था that Perisic created with that turn and everything. So
हाँ
beyond that, I don't think PSV had much to do. So yeah, very very good result.
Param, what do you make
हाँ
of Renato Vega? He's come on loan from Chelsea.
Hmm.
He's playing probably in that Calafiori role. Mota wanted him.
हाँ
Wanted Calafiori in the summer. तो
हाँ
क्या लगता है तुझे कि have UA found some stability in the back to say with all the injuries that have suffered, and have they turned it around in attack as well with Kolomuani being more direct?
अटैक तो अटैक तो डेफिनेटली बिकॉज कोलोमुआनी अगेन हैज बीन अगर आप करियर फॉलो करोगे तो थोड़ा स्ट्रेंज प्लेयर इज बारिंग हिज Eintracht
Hmm.
Frankfurt days. It's very hard to fit in such players who basically thrive on positional versatility and all that kind of stuff. And I think Mota, technically on paper, as a coach, works for him, and obviously the signs are already there. So not really doubtful in that regard. I think वो दिख रहा है मैच मिक्स एंड मैच क्यों अच्छे से चल रहा है. Also brings other players into play. McKennie को बराबर एक रोल खेलने मिलता है उसके साथ. Renato
Hmm.
Vega, I would say I get why he was signed. Obviously, it's not like they're going to get him permanently at the end of the season, but that's a whole different topic. I feel obviously he's trying to kind of add a lot of physicality in that defense because obviously players body orientation ये सब चीजें matter करती है जब आप एक certain system खेलते हो और Renato Vega has that. I still feel we need more time to assess him with UA specifically. मतलब as a general player तो देखा है, of course I think he's a quite talented player, but UA के लिए थोड़ा टाइम देना पड़ेगा. Obviously it's been a decent start, but to make all this work again, it's not going to be simple because you have Lloyd Kelly एक side पे, you have Gatti, two technically not so gifted players. Let's be honest.
Gatti
Luckily
had a
for
good
them,
game though.
yeah,
Gatti
he
had a
did.
good
I'm
game as
saying,
well.
I'm saying, I'm saying in the general context of things going forward, right? Douglas Luiz also played well. That's what I was about to say, right? Douglas Luiz also had a good game. But the point is, can like one of the players in front of you, Douglas Luiz, or the player next to him, Kelly and Gatti, can they consistently live up to that level which Mota and a player like Vega needs next to them? That's the question. But I feel he's a good signing for sure. I mean, that's not a doubt in my opinion. I feel when they got him, it's just that obviously it's a shame कि permanently तो obviously लोग रख नहीं पाएंगे इसको most likely. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that depends unless Chelsea only get ready to sell and whatnot. But
Hmm.
yeah, but I feel definitely the a solid signing in general, but still want to wait and see where he goes with UA. Kolo Muani, obviously, I can give you a more, as I said, a more concrete assessment. Ki, he's definitely fitted in right away, and the fact that Vlahovic is not starting consecutive games, I think yeah. So definitely, yeah, udhar to.
Bhai,
I mean, and then
and
saw this game. It was a solid display. I mean, I
yeah,
saw it later.
yeah, and bhai, finally you have Weston McKennie shining. Um, now contributing with goals, also banger of a goal, and that
Yeah,
guy has been played everywhere on the pitch by Mota, right back,
yeah.
left back, midfield. मतलब कहाँ पे भी वो खेलता है वो.
Yeah.
And finally, I mean, it's been a very tough road for him as well. Once upon a time he was considered, not important on the transfer list. Had a horrible loan at Leeds United, where he looked
He was
out of
he was
shape,
he was
out
even
of
bad at
interest.
Schalke towards the end. I remember how lazy he was,
Hmm.
and
बिल्कुल.
I feel all the criticism. ये मैं ना recently post देख रहा हूँ IFTV type post, right? to think Juventus were going to let McKennie go, but they were right in letting him almost go. I
Yeah.
Of
personally feel
course, of course.
he was terrible. Like, he was lazy. He barely put in the effort. वो Schalke में, I remember watching him shit the bed towards the end of his years. My God, how overweight he was. He did not care about anything. I have seen this guy play. Forget Juventus. वो Juventus join भी नहीं करता. जैसे आपने बोला Leeds United. We've seen this guy,
Who
Ajay
got
bhai.
who got relegated that season, by the way.
Exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
All of us have seen him. So what Juventus did was or what they almost did in kicking him out was justifiable at the time. अभी वो अच्छा
Hmm.
खेल रहा है तो it is very easy to say in hindsight, oh, Juventus were going to let him go, big mistake and all that. But it was the right, ठीक है, it was almost the right call at the time because he was not justifying anything. But
Yeah,
obviously, kudos to him. Now we live in the present, so we have to say this. You have to give the guy full credit. He is Kostub turning out to be one of the main men for US season. I mean,
yeah,
बचाया बहुत occasions पे.
Hmm.
Versatility, important aspects like goals or assists. So kudos to him, yeah, for turning it around.
yeah,
And I guess one thing people forget is even when he was a Schalke, I know at the end
Hmm.
of his time at
Yeah.
Schalke, things went weird, wo contract dispute, all of it. Um, one thing that stood out even at Schalke was versatility. वो वहाँ पे भी
Yeah.
could play in 7 different positions apart from centre back and goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that at least that is still very much there because
Yeah.
um, and human perspective say like at
Hmm.
your workplace if you're told that you can fuck off, that you're not needed, it's very difficult to have that motivation to continue. But this guy has been told to fuck off twice or thrice, but he's
yeah.
still there. And he's, I, I probably feel top two players of the season for Juve.
100%,
So
100%. I would say he's in the shout of one of the most improved players across the
yeah,
top 5 European
yeah.
leagues. वो तो है ही यार वेस्टन
Hmm.
मैकेनी बहुत बहुत सही खेल रहा है.
Hmm. Yeah, Ajay bhai, you can क्या और अपने को
So UA with obviously UA coming into this game with that confidence, getting a European win is special, and also as we saw in the when Inter and UA met at the San Siro, how that match unfurled. Like UA, Inter should have won that game,
Yeah.
fair and square, but then UA came back with those Keenan Yildiz goals. So Param, क्या लग रहा है going into the weekend? Say for example, hypothetically you have Napoli who managed to get a point, chalo, a point
Hmm.
or better, so that puts a lot of pressure on Simone Inzaghi's Inter. And Inter, obviously, having already qualified for the next round of the Champions League, well rested, no midweek game,
Hmm.
Hmm.
very tough away trip. So what
Hmm.
is the mood at Inter, and what are the feelers that Simone Inzaghi has been giving out, in his press conferences, in his training sessions?
Uh, अभी तक तो मतलब बारिंग द लास्ट फ्यू थोड़ा अगर आप प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस वो सब के बारे में बात करो ऑब्वियसली it's not usual that he voices referee discontent और उसने वही किया था recently because the journalists annoyed him a lot और उसने facts के साथ बोला I mean the penalty Fiorentina got was not a penalty I mean Darmian didn't even know his arm was there so and you had referees former referees backing that and not just that what happened with Leverkusen what happened against Bologna where Skorupski fouled Lautaro for a penalty we didn't get one so all that boiled over because फालतू के अगर जर्नलिस्ट क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे तो आई थिंक एट वन पॉइंट somebody is going to lose their cool right
Hmm.
and I guess if someone like Conte and all can rant on a daily basis one rant from Simone Inzaghi is fine so वो सब aside I feel all that has been put aside what I keep on saying right even after you lose it's important to bounce back right away and that's what this season Inter has done we may not have won all the big games obviously
Hmm.
UA को नहीं हराया मिलान को नहीं हराया but बाकियों को हराया और ऊपर से जब भी हारे इफ यू सी द नेक्स्ट गेम वी बाउंस बैक एंड गॉन ऑन अ रन right I'm just saying ki the mentality has been there we lost 3-0 to Fiorentina terrible display gifted them 2 goals out of 3 but right away Fiorentina को फिर से खेला with a much stronger Fiorentina side because they had their players available अगर आप obviously Fagioli ये सब खेल रहे थे and we beat them so so that is there so अभी उस पे build करना देखते कैसे कर सकते because एक तो बाय द वे शाउट आउट टू अचेरवी बिकॉज ही केम इन राइट अवे एंड पॉकेटेड Moise Kean मतलब top notch display But yeah, I mean, the mood is fine otherwise. ऐसा कोई ऐसा issue तो नहीं है, normal है. The professional mood, same treating the Scudetto important कि Scudetto जाके बाहर जीतना है. Every game is important. I know he gave the team an off after that Fiorentina win because he knows the team needs a rest. So I think if right now anything he would be worried about is Thuram being available for this game, because obviously Thuram took a knock against Fiorentina in the second game at home, which was, और न्यूज तो चल रही है कि he's on schedule to recover for the game away to Juventus, पर पता नहीं, मतलब you never know with these kind of things, that he's on schedule but will he recover is the question. So, and we all know Inter का strikers के साथ there's been an issue this season. Arnautovic is not it. I mean, he must have obviously scored the winner against Fiorentina, uh, but it's not like he's the solution. Taremi, as much as I love the guy, has not been it, sad to say. And Korea is, let's not even talk about him. So as I say, so मतलब Thuram
I read somewhere on Twitter that a lot of Inter fans, like casual fans, saying that Arnautovic should be higher than Taremi, in terms of pecking order.
फॉर्म बोलोगे तो या यू कैन मेक दैट आर्ग्यूमेंट, बट आई स्टिल विल नेवर अग्री टू दैट बिकॉज आर्नोटोविच एक गेम में मार देता है, कुछ कर देता है, डजंट मीन ही इज ग्रेट. ही स्टिल हैज अ शिट बॉडी लैंग्वेज, ही स्टिल मेक्स दैट स्टूपिड अनोइंग फेस व्हेनेवर समथिंग डजंट गो हिज वे. एंड लेट मी रिमाइंड दोस पीपल, after he scored the winner against Fiorentina, he got injured. It's a miracle. It's not a miracle. He's still not confirmed for the game, by the way. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. He's not confirmed fit for the UA game either. वो भी सेम, उसका भी रिकवरी ऑन टाइम है, but whether or not he recovers remains to be seen. So that's the funny part, right? People were praising him, but what did he do? He got injured again. When can he stay fit is the question, right? He scored a goal and he got injured, so that's just ridiculous to me. So I don't see the point of praising him on the basis of one goal in ages. I just don't see the point. So I'll never like the guy. I'm sorry. Like, I appreciate the contribution, but he can leave at the end of the season. Sorry. But yeah, it's a fair argument to say he's right above Taremi right now, because he's had more numbers, which is very annoying, but it helps the team. But other than that, it's all good. What I would say, सिमोने इंजागी शायद कंसिडर करना चालू करना चाहिए. आई नो Zielinski doesn't like playing as a regista, but he does play it when the need comes, and he played it against Fiorentina when he came on to replace Hakan. और मस्त परफॉर्मेंस डाला, मस्त एकदम. He was doing the defensive side of the game very well and all. Hakan, ever since returning from injury, has been worrying. He's not been the same.
Yeah, he's not been the
And
same.
yeah, he's not been the same. बहुत errors हो रहे, and maybe did Simone rush him back too soon? मतलब, I don't know.
I
Like,
also saw Zielinski do a very decent role over there
yeah,
as well as the number 6.
exactly. मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. Like, डिफेंसिवली भी अच्छा किया, अटैकिंग तो एक ठीक है, फिर भी समझ लो डिफेंसिवली वाज वेरी गुड.
Zielinski as a 8 पे तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है. He's a excellent number 8, but as a 6, very surprising that he's doing so well.
And he's vocal about not liking the 6 role, whether it's for the national team or for his club. But he said कि जब अगर क्लब को जरूरत पड़ेगी तो खेलेगा. But apart from that, the mood is fine. ऐसा कोई टेंशन नहीं है. I know the mood is वैसे ही कि generally locked in रहना है, आपको यूए को हराना ही पड़ेगा to stay in the title race. But one fact obviously being कि we do not win that much at the Allianz Stadium. So that is obviously one. We it's not like we've never won there. Obviously जीते हैं, but winning there is quite kind of a rare thing for Inter. So that's obviously one stat in the back of our heads. But hopefully the players will not be thinking. So apart from that, यार अजय, मतलब ऐसा कोई, apart from the whole press,
quick prediction that comes to your mind before I take Costa's prediction.
I'll go for a win for us. I feel still, because I don't know, maybe थोड़ा bias है because we have to, I know both teams technically have to win this game, but I don't know, it's just that bias that makes me think that we will win. Because I feel, जैसे मैंने बोला ना, वो हारते तब थोड़ा रिएक्शन रहता है उसके बाद हमारा, एंड देन वी गो ऑन. दैट्स बीन द थीम. वी लूज व्हेनेवर वी लूज, आफ्टर दैट वी गो ऑन sort of a run where we do well, right? So I feel we might pick that up again for a while, at least before we lose, whenever we lose. Hopefully not in the Champions League. नहीं तो साला Champions League में हार के बाहर हो जाएंगे. But yeah, all that aside, yeah, I feel we'll win.
So, yeah, what is the scoreline, Param? क्या scoreline बोला? 1-0.
2-1.
2-1 to Inter. Any goals?
And I swear if we miss chances like that 4-4 वाला game, भाई वो तो भाई मैं मतलब दिमाग खराब हो जाए. But I think 2-1, because I don't think UA will not score. I definitely think UA will score. मेरे को लग रहा है definitely Kolo Muani will give us a lot of problems. And from हमारे end से I feel Lautaro will start doing well again, and I'm going to go for a Dumfries goal for the winner, because I know he was in red hot form and he's not एक दो गेम्स अभी कुछ किया नहीं है, so definitely I think he will be on the score sheet again.
Fair.
आप लोग क्या बोलते
Costume क्या लगता है? What are your predictions?
Boldly, I would say 2-0 Inter.
Oof.
Because, largely because mentally going into the game and knowing, because we need to remember that Atlanta are also playing Cagliari tomorrow
हैं?
at
Yeah,
our time 7:30. So
yeah,
depending on that result, Inter will know that this game can define the season. And हमें पता है about 3 seasons ago, 4 seasons ago, these are the games where this, like particularly this game, was the
yeah,
game where Inter would fail to win, कुछ भी करके हार जाते थे, and things would fall apart and everything. So this is the
yeah,
game where they just have to win. I guess even last season there was that game against Juve in January where Juve got a point, if I'm not wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah,
they would know that this is a potential banana peel at a very important point of the season. So I see an Inter win, but somehow I still feel that the as good as Juve have been, as they were against PSV, I feel like there is too much instability in their squad, like generally.
yeah,
Last match, no
mm,
Douglas Luiz Killa, he goes out injured. Cambiaso, still like a doubt. I'm not sure
Yeah.
if Cambiaso is fit or not, but that doubtful, a 50-50 sort of thing. So it's like very, looks very iffy, like on paper. And
mm,
Abhi, although considering that Colomani is doing well, you actually expect him to score. But I look at the people around him. I know Bangula has scored against PSV.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else who can help Colomani score, or vice versa, apart from McKennie. So
mm.
I see something, जैसे मैं बोला, seems very iffy. And Inter
Yeah.
का seems certain after that pile up of injuries and everything. So
Mm.
I would say 2-0 Inter, and
Mm.
if they win,
Yeah, fair enough. क्या goal scorers कौन
we
बोलते
goal scorers, I would say Lautaro and Barella.
हैं? Interesting, interesting.
Because I feel Thuram को risk करना पड़ेगा.
हाँ, अरे यार मेरे को उसका
It's that game.
yeah, yeah, fair.
I, I'm going for a 1-all draw. I feel that
Mm,
Coop Miners will get his first goal for Juve. But I feel that Inter would come back and get a point from this game. ऐसा मेरे को लग रहा है. That is my prediction. I'll just see कि chat में लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं.
Luko,
Adrish,
before we get to the chat, we'll get to the chat. But
okay.
see again, English translation. We have cats
Oh,
for Gatti, because obviously Gatti means cat
yeah.
by
By
Gregory.
Gregory.
सही वाला इंग्लिश बना दिया यार दी ग्रेगोरियो को. सही है. लोका टेल्स conception is the funniest. I feel conception is like, then इधर तो मतलब Barella
Barella
obviously
stretcher.
हो जाता है.
Look at Bastoni. Look at Bastoni.
Bastoni, हाँ, because in Italian bastone is stick, right? So
I'm
sticks हो जाता है.
surprised कि
And
they've
Barella.
translated De Vrij into the. Acha, it's De
De
Vrij. I
Vrij,
thought it was
this is
Cherby. Yeah,
less-
Cherby means right.
Look at Barella. Look at Barella.
Barella stretcher, yeah.
Stretcher.
Summer का भी summer हो गया.
Summer.
सही है, summer. But that's hilarious. But yeah, I think
You know,
Acerbi
there's
will
a
start. बोल.
Gazzetta में there's a journalist called Giovanni Albanese. If you translate his articles, उसका नाम भी translate होता है. Translates to John
Young-
Albanian.
John Albanian. Yeah, young.
Yeah,
Jovan.
because Albanese is Albanian, right?
Albanian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, नहीं, what
I wonder what Italiano will translate into.
Oh, but see, I'll just give my closing thoughts on this from both perspectives, because obviously my team is involved. I think देखो Juve again, for me, Kolo Muani will be the biggest. Like Chico कौन से सा रहेगा? I can't rule him out, but it's not like his end product has been there per se. He's doing good things, decent things. I feel he'll be a player you have to focus on, but mainly Kolo Muani, because Kolo Muani, you can see the confidence level right now. You can see him in different areas making all kinds of impact. एक चीज यूए के एंड पे भी ऑल्सो आई हैव टू लुक आउट फॉर हिज लास्ट गेम में एज मच एज वी एफ्ड अप द 4-4 वाले में बिकॉज वी मिस सिटर्स बट द वे मोटा कैन इंस्टिल कॉन्फिडेंस जो मैं स्टार्टिंग के जब प्रीव्यू में भी बोला था द वे ही कैन इंस्टिल कॉन्फिडेंस इनटू getting back into the game. Obviously, things have not been the same since that time in the first part of the season, but still, I feel that will always be there somewhere. So that I can't rule out. So I feel these two things I would definitely keep an eye. I mean, these two factors I would keep an eye out for. One being Kolomwani, one being that fighting spirit sort of thing. Not saying other players. Obviously, McKennie definitely has to be one of the main men to watch out. If the way he's playing, मतलब fantastic खेल रहा है तो definitely उस पे तो उसकी वही versatility भी रहेगी यार उतनी pitch पे. So definitely one another man to keep an eye out. And obviously any other player on that night, even Gatti and Vega's partnership can potentially silence Lautaro, you know, because physically those two are very good. But on the other hand, I feel I don't know. Hakan has to step up. मतलब मेरे लिए Hakan has been very flat since his injury return, Ajay bhai, and I've not been impressed at all. मतलब very sloppy, giving the ball away, you know, risk, क्या बोलते हैं, reckless tackles. Pavard has been fantastic. I want to see that continue. Pavard has been
Yeah,
brilliant. Pavard, I really want that to continue. I जैसे hey, he's expected to start. I hope he starts. Don't need to start BSEC or anyone. I would play Acerbi here. I hope he starts over. I know Devra has been fantastic, but I would play Acerbi. Bastoni, no doubts. I don't need to say anything. I feel
yeah,
Mkhitaryan also भी बीच में फिर से थोड़ा flat हो गया है. Please stop giving away the ball and all these things because UA I know on the transition can be dangerous. So that all needs to go
yeah,
down.
yeah.
And Thuram, it really depends on the fitness because last couple of games थोड़ा off रहा है वो. And I feel obviously it has to do something with his, you know, niggles and whatnot. So, देखते हैं. And then if Taremi has to start, that's another question because he's not done that great. So, if I think हमारे end से difference आएगा तो बरेला ही रहेगा because बरेला सबसे consistent player है यार. मतलब क्या ही बोल सकते हैं. He's been brilliant. And if he does not have a good night, then that could be a problem. But I expect him to do well. I feel he'll run the show. I feel he'll make others look around him look good as well. And yeah, I feel if anyone has to be a difference maker is Barella. And I feel also generally the depth we have, like I spoke about UA's fighting spirit. For us, I would say the depth we have, while sure Fratesi is not doing great and all, I feel Zielinski, for example, is doing very well. So I feel stuff like that can make a difference from our end. So I'll still stick to a 2-1 Inter win. But yeah.
Fair, fair. Let's see what the chat has to
Is
say.
returning, by the way?
Adrish,
I just
no idea, but Adrish has gone for a 2-1 Inter win. Obviously, he's
yeah.
a Interista. 2-all draw. Arnautovic.
Arnautovic. Yeah,
Adrish बोलते
Arnautovic will
bold prediction Taremi goal. Ravi बोलता है he
win.
wants a 4-all once
Yeah.
again.
Once again by Swarnim Bhai is in the chat. Swarnim Bhai with being very Swarnim Bhai, आप भी आपके thoughts दो game के बारे में. Thuram Barella, Thuram Kefren, Thuram brothers to score of course.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Yeah. But Swarnim Bhai, आपके thoughts भी दो यार game पे because obviously you have to also take into account that Inter don't have a great record at the Allianz. So
Shivam goes for a 2-all draw. I think
2-all
2-all
draw.
draw is also quite realistic, man.
Yeah.
Naman has gone for a UA win.
UA win, fair enough. और क्या है predictions? I want to see more. I'll take the other comments also. I'll just dial Kostov and see if he's coming back.
Yeah, Siddhant बोल रहे 1-0 Inter.
Just give me a second, yeah. अब ले
Another bold call, Benjamin Pavard goal. चलो, Pavard and Taremi दोनों को डाल दिया. Yeah, that's true. Most teams don't have a good record at the Allianz. UA are a very tough team to beat at home. Yes, Swarnim bhai, मेरे को मैं ऐसे ही बोल रहा था. I know Italiano will translate to Italian, but it's just so funny that his name is so typical. मतलब it almost sounds like a fake name, Vincenzo Italiano. Like it's like a name that I would give if I go undercover. Like yeah, my name is Rahul Indian. Something like that. Rahul Indian.
Rahul
नाम तो सुना होगा.
Yeah, I mean that's a valid point, Ravindra. But also कभी-कभी बड़े games में reaction आ जाता है. That's also the thing. So it's a very cagey affair. Yeah, Pavard has still not scored for Inter, so that was definitely a bold prediction. Zielinski with the penalty hat-trick last time, he was definitely back then in Inzaghi magic. He also says Dumfries Thuram. Shrestha says love your streams. Thanks here, Shrestha, again for everyone. Please like, share, and subscribe, guys. स्वर्णिम भाई से कल हार जाओ देन गो ऑन अ ग्रेट रन. नहीं वही प्रॉब्लम है ना, स्वर्णिम भाई हार ही नहीं सकते अभी आगे जाके. वो आप फिर बोलो कॉन्टे को हारने को 2-3 गेम, 3-4 गेम, नॉट 2-3, 3-4 गेम हार जाए फिर थोड़ा शायद बीच में. बट आई पर्सनली लाइक कोरिया और अर्नॉटोविच एंड तरीमी वे और बोथ. Like Korea, but the thing is, he doesn't do anything, but that's fair. Yeah, I mean, Arnautovic just pisses me off as well with his body language. Gatti के लिए Bremer backup. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I don't agree कि Bremer, sorry, Gatti should be sold. I just feel, yeah, I agree with this. He's improving. I don't think he should be sold and all. I just feel he's थोड़ा limited and that's all. Uh, my bold prediction. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Let's see how. I mean, if they definitely feel like that, yeah, you know, never know. Definitely would be a good signing for you in that case. Peter Sucic की signing पे मैं thoughts दे चुका हूँ सिद्धांत, in the sense कि he's one of the best under 23 Croatian talents come breaking through from Croatia right now. Must player. I consider him more of a Fratesi replacement than an Aslani because he's a hybrid 6 and 8 and he's more of an 8. और उसके कोचेस भी फॉर्मल रिसेंटली बोल चुके हैं. अंकल शर्मा के चैनल पे देखो यार, उसने मस्त स्काउट रिपोर्ट बनाया पेटर सुचिच पे. गो एंड
वैसे
वॉच हिम.
वैसे
हाँ.
Uncle Sharma and Nima both,
हाँ.
I think someone was talking about the Inter Lazio brotherhood, but both of them do not vouch for that. I mean, they're so
Yeah,
anti
no,
Lazio.
no.
They're
Yeah, a
so
lot of
anti Lazio that they're Romanisti. You know, they're so anti Lazio,
yeah.
both of them.
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's only the ultras in the fan. You know, ultras की fan social media पे इंटर fan base पे जो nobody
अच्छा,
really.
परम आई एक्चुअली वांटेड टू आल्सो शेयर दिस. मैं एंड में सोचा करूंगा, बट ये मेरे को शेयर करना है बिकॉज इस पे मुझे 2 सेंट्स मुझे देना है ये चीज पे. एक
दो.
तो इज ही द सेम गाय हु प्रेडिक्टेड दैट ब्राइटन विल विन सेrie A, दिस डगी क्रिचली.
Yup, he is the same guy. He
इज द
is the
सेम गाय
same guy.
ना. हाँ.
Dougie Critchley.
अब तू मेरे को ये बात बता कि इज सिमोने इंजागी द वर्ल्ड्स मोस्ट अंडररेटेड मैनेजर? मतलब इसपे नीमा ने रीट्वीट किया हुआ है, कोट ट्वीट,
हाँ.
आर वी इन 2017? I mean, shouldn't everyone know Simone Inzaghi in 2025? Who
Yeah.
underrates him? Like, I mean, underrated. Come on, man. I mean, you're losing the definition of it just
Yeah.
because you don't watch other leagues.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean
Exactly.
that someone is underrated, man. I mean,
Yeah.
it's beyond ridiculous, man. I
No,
mean,
no, I
but
agree. I fully agree with you. Because हो गया टाइम. अगर आप 3 साल पहले बोलते तो भी थोड़ा अंडररेटेड के लिए
टीम
मैं
क्या यार,
सोच.
जब वो लाजियो के साथ में था तो बोल सकता था कि हाँ
Yeah.
अंडररेटेड मैनेजर है, बट कंसिडरिंग व्हाट ही इज अचीव्ड विद लाजियो एंड देन विद इंटर, भाई मतलब तुम देखते नहीं हो, मतलब अंडररेटेड है. मतलब इट्स जस्ट
Hilarious.
baffles
It's
me, man.
hilarious.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah, it baffles.
absolutely baffles me. I can understand if you got underrated someone like say Vincenzo Italiano, with all due respect.
Yeah.
Is he an underrated coach? You never know. But not
True.
Simone Inzaghi, man. But
And
ये
yeah,
इन
Italiano
लोग,
has made 2 finals. Yeah, 3. Sorry.
हाँ, of course. इन लोग के कारण साइमन गोबैक को बहुत कंटेंट मिलता है. I mean, I'm happy because of that.
Yeah. No, I agree fully with you. You can't say, and that's why Nima retweeted what he did, understandably so. Spaghetti
So,
Mafia says 2-0 for Milan comeback. Fair enough.
this could happen.
Yeah. Huh?
That could
Yeah.
happen. Milan making a comeback.
Yeah. Kolomuani 1-1 Barella. Did I walk into philosophy church? A nice one. I'll just be back, Ajay. Sorry, बाकी के predictions करके wrap कर दे. Just give me a second.
Yeah, I'll take the comments in the meantime. Conte ball is going to do the same with Inter, uh, with Napoli, what he did to Juve with Inter. Baz ball बोल रहे हैं. अरे भाई, ये तो एंटोनियो कॉन्टे का पूरा भविष्यवाणी करके दे रहा है. बट yes, Adrish, it wasn't Dougie Critchley. It was Arsenal fan from Football Daily panel who said Brighton will win Serie A, but
But
he
Dougie was one of the people.
was
Dougie
one of
was.
them. He
उसने
was. He
tweet भी
was.
किया था.
He
Definitely that
was.
Arsenal fan, but Dougie did. He's no saint. He's no saint.
He was.
और
He
वो
was.
एक और जर्नलिस्ट, लेट मी कॉल आउट सिंस वी आर कॉलिंग आउट, तारिक पांजा, जो एकदम
अरे
सेंटली
भाई,
जर्नलिज्म.
तारिक पांजा तो
He's the
भाई उसको तो
worst. He tries
someone
to
should
come
defeat
across.
him in Punjab, man.
Yeah,
Just
he
once and for
tries
all.
to come across as that investigative journalist who's doing the right thing. But I remember when he used such outdated information when he was writing an article on Inter. Ajay bhai, कितना पुराना डेटा यूज किया था. The guy got exposed, and yeah, he also said कि Brentford would probably finish in top 4, or AC Milan would have a tough day winning away at Brentford. I was like, "Arey yaar." Yeah, yeah. Daniel scouting Dybala
what
is
an
in the
insult, man! What an insult! Oh
year.
man.
I remember seeing
इस
that.
पे इस पे मेरा साइमन गो बैक का स्क्रिप्ट रेडी है शिवम. मैं शूट करूंगा इसको इसको बहुत जल्द. टेंशन मत लो.
Definitely. Something I feel a Simon Go back episode on Bologna for some reason would do good. You know that Bolognese and all that. So many words to play around with.
So many words. So
Consider karo aap. Definitely. Uh,
let's move
but
on to the
guys,
other game.
yeah, we'll take quick predictions. Wrap up. मेरा भी तबीयत ठीक नहीं है इधर. Struggling over here to continue the stream. Fucking viral fever sucks, man. Like literally, I have this weird burning sensation on my face right now. So don't mind, guys. But we'll take the predictions and wrap up the stream. I still feel 90 minutes के ऊपर is still a good stream. Uh, Foden is English Dybala. I agree. See, he's not underrated, right? He is one of the best already in the world, and yeah,
That's what we are saying, ना. वही तो बोल रहे हैं हम लोग.
सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल एंड या डेफिनेटली. एक तो अजय भाई के चैनल पे करो. वो तो कंटेंट लाते रहेंगे यार. अगेन ही इज आल्सो ही मेड हिज वुल्सबर्ग वाला वीडियो. डू गो वॉच इट. You can pull it up, Ajay, after we finish predictions, because I love
बहुत मजा आया. To make that Wolfsburg video was a lot of fun. And you know, like there is a very क्या बोलते हैं, a criticism that Wolfsburg are backed by Volkswagen, and you know it's not an underdog. But given how Bayern are so successful in that particular league, anyone coming and breaking the hegemony is a success story. I know that even Bayer owns, Bayer a huge conglomerate. उन लोग है Leverkusen के पीछे, but Leverkusen were basically rubbish. They had never won the Bundesliga ever.
Yeah, this is the first time they won it.
This is the first time. So yeah, definitely subscribe करो, support करो.
नहीं, we'll show you the video, but guys definitely वो वीडियो अजय भाई का देखो, because कैसा रहता है आप लोग उस वीडियो, ऐसे वीडियोस जब हम करने जाते हैं ना, me and अजय भाई discuss this off stream, कि we get less views and all that, but we don't really, not to say we don't care, but our focus is to put out quality content. अगर हम बार let's say इधर कैल्चियो चर्चा पे सिर्फ बिग 3 के बारे में बात करेंगे, इंटर, यूवे, एसी मिलान, बाकी के स्टोरीज कवर ही नहीं करेंगे, वरीड अबाउट द व्यूज, व्हाट्स द पॉइंट? वी आर हियर टू गिव यू द इंफॉर्मेशन. इसीलिए हमने अभी जो बारी का वीडियो रिकॉर्ड किया है, बिफोर वी वर गोइंग टू स्टार्ट द बारी फुटबॉल मैनेजर सेव राइट अवे इनिशियली, देन अजय भाई सेड एक वीडियो करते हैं, व्हिच मेक्स सेंस कि लोगों को पहले बारी के बारे में थोड़ा तो पता होना चाहिए, राइट, बिफोर वी गेट, एंड चालू होगा फुटबॉल मैनेजर. आई नो वी आर मंथ्स लेट, विल स्टार्ट, but finally the bari video is, I think, in our hand, right, Ajay bhai, after editing, or
it is almost ready. Should be out in a couple of days.
Yeah, editor edit करके दे देगा, almost हो गया है. बारी video comes out, it might not get a lot of views. We hope it does, because we want you guys to watch it. वो अगर आप लोग देखोगे तो अच्छा होगा. Then we start our बारी save. So वही point है कि अजय भाई, like for example, Adrish also says, yeah, Perisic था, De Bruyne था, Felix Magath, not many people know about him. You know, he was quite a decent coach, yeah. तो यार ऐसी स्टोरीज हम लोग भी कवर करेंगे. अजय विल आल्सो कवर, you guys show the love, because for us the content, the quality of the content comes first. We don't always think about इस पे इतना व्यूज मिलेगा. हम लोग ने जब, याद है अजय भाई, टोरिनो का वीडियो किया था, इल ग्रांडे, it got 500 plus views, and at that time obviously we had much less subscribers.
Yeah,
मुझे लगा भी नहीं था 500 व्यूज भी पहुंचेगा, honestly, but I'm glad it did. So yeah, but Adrish, I don't know if you watched that. Do go watch the Torino one, because and this is for all new subscribers, because obviously Ajay bhai, since then we've had so many new subscribers. हमारे चैनल पे इल ग्रांडे टोरिनो पे वीडियो सेक्शन पे वीडियो है. आपने देखा नहीं है वो टोरिनो के लेगेसी के बारे में, हाउ देयर ग्रेट टोरिनो साइड अनफॉर्चुनेटली सकम्ड टू एन एयर डिजास्टर. तो वो वीडियो अगर आपने देखा नहीं है तो प्लीज जाके देख लेना. बट लेट्स गेट बैक ऑन ट्रैक गाइस. आई विल कम टू योर कमेंट्स. सोनीमाइसिस बर्निंग सेंसेशन होगा परसों, आपको या मुझे, पहले वो बताओ भाई. या थैंक्स यार, थैंक्स. मतलब इधर बैंड बजा पड़ा है, बट ठीक है, स्ट्रीम कर लेते, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. आई वांटेड टू डू द स्ट्रीम यार, बिकॉज़ आई डिडंट वांट टू मिस इट. बट लेट्स टेक द रेस्ट ऑफ द गेम्स वेरी क्विकली. लेट्स प्रेडिक्ट. जस्ट पुलिंग इट अप. Just 1 second guys, we'll wrap this stream. Fuck, thank God it's a weekend. नहीं तो बैंड बजा पड़ा रहता. I don't know why I went to office today. बैंड बजा पड़ा था.
corporate life है भाई ये.
No, I could have actually taken an off, you know, I could have, but फालतू में चला गया. But no worries. But as you said, corporate life. But let's get back to it, guys. आज रात को Serie A है, टेंशन मत लो. अब GXR पे I know सब लोग बहुत गुस्सा है. La Liga is also back, so don't worry. I don't know if Liga is back yet, by the way. वो check करना.
Liga is not yet back, unfortunately.
Oh boy. But let's start guys. आप लोग के ये मुझे चैट्स में, जैसे मैं हमेशा बोलता हूँ, टीम का नाम होना चाहिए प्रेडिक्शन में. जस्ट डोंट से 1-1, से बोलोनिया 1, टोरिनो 1, व्हाटएवर. क्या बोलते हो जय भाई इस गेम के बारे में? क्या लगता है बोलोनिया टोरिनो आज रात को 1:15 को?
Interesting game. Yeah, I think Bologna are going to edge this game.
हाँ.
Like Yogesh always says, I would like Torino to do something in this game, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. वो होने वाला. I think Bologna win this by 3-1, 3-1.
Wow. Fair enough. Also because obviously आप देख सकते हो सामुएल रिची सस्पेंडेड है,
Suspended.
और बाकी तो इंजरीज है, कासाडी है, ये है वो है, ठीक है. But obviously the Mercato was not the greatest. Bologna are doing a decent job, and I feel they'll win. I agree with you. You know, I think
Yeah.
1-0 जीतेगी Bologna. Honestly, this is like one of that game personally on a personal level. Can both teams win? जो हम बार बार
Yeah,
जब
yeah.
बोलते हैं both teams lose.
Yeah,
That's this kind of
I would have loved to watch this game had it been on a like on a
yeah
weekend or in a
yeah.
favorable time. मजा आता देखने के लिए यार.
Yeah, I
मैं
would love to watch this game.
generally catch करता हूँ मैं ये games.
Yeah, I would love to watch this game with fully fit squads on a proper time.
Yeah.
अजय भाई क्या मजा आता है ये गेम in the current context obviously, but I go for a Bologna 1-0 win. आप लोग के मैं comments पे भी देखना चाहता हूँ again with the team. 2-0 Bologna won, says Ravindra. Adrish is 2-1 to Bologna. Lazio Napoli baseball आप बोल रहे हो Lazio is going to cook, ठीक है, पर इस गेम का भी दे दो यार. And स्वर्णिम भाई says दोनों में से एक तो होगा ही definitely यार. Atalanta Cagliari अजय भाई क्या बोलते हो?
Oh, I think, yeah, Cagliari got a massive win against Parma in that relegation 6-pointer, but
हाँ.
Atlanta at home, obviously
much.
reeling over that loss in midweek Champions League में, तो Atlanta win this यार comfortably. I think they can score. Yeah, I think they can comfortably win. They'll just up one gear and Cagliari will be blown away. 3 to 4 goals मार सकती है Atlanta.
Shivam भी Bologna 2-1 बोल रहे, which is fair. Again, I want to see more people comment, guys. Come on. I want to see more predictions. But my 2 cents ना, देखो यार, Atalanta have lost a bit of steam. मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा लोग बीच में जीते नहीं. They have won. But with the injuries and everything, they've not been the same. You know, no Scalvini, no Lookman. And Cagliari अजय भाई resilient team. I know ज़्यादातर उनके अच्छे results home में आते हैं because of that Sardinia का atmosphere at the Unipol Domos.
Yeah.
But I don't know, yeah. I feel either Atalanta edge this like a 2-1 in a very hard-fought win or a draw. मैं draw जाऊंगा 2-2 or yeah 1-1.
Fair.
I'm going for a draw. Let me see the comments. Atalanta 2-2 Cagliari, says Adrish. Siddhant says Atalanta 3-1. Ryan Deer Rangers के लिए, I guess. What is this? Hello everyone. I know Serie A, but sorry, I'm not getting this comment. Ajay, can you clarify it for me?
Yeah, so he says he likes Serie A, but he's not very experienced about it. So he wants to know more in detail, and I hope you guys can hook me up with.
Yeah, sure. अरे तो
Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome, bro. हम लोग आप नए हो तो भी चलता है. That's not a problem. Please, just keep watching.
We keep the stream in 2 languages, English and Hindi. तो हम लोग alternate करते रहते हैं. So in case you're not understanding anything, you can definitely ask us in English. Otherwise, अगर आप हिंदी में वार्तालाप करना चाहते हो तो
you can ask us questions. You can tag the Calcio Charcha account here and then ask questions. We tried our best to give as much info possible. Ryan Deer, interesting name, but यार don't worry, you will get all kinds of content here. आपको हर चीज का content मिलेगा इधर. हम लोग अपना जब भी टाइम मिलता है हम लोग डालते हैं. जैसे मैंने बोला अभी 12 पे वीडियो आएगा, तो यू कीप ट्यूनिंग इन, देन यू मे बी कैन फाइंड योर वे किसको सपोर्ट करना है किसको नहीं. अगर आप आज रात को देख सकते हो मैच, तो बोलोनिया टोरिनो से चालू करो. आई एम टेलिंग यू, बोलोनिया बहुत अंडररेटेड टीम है, बहुत अच्छा कर रही है. दोनों तो देखो, सी वॉच व्हाटएवर यू वांट, सपोर्ट जिसको करना है करो उसमें से. यू नो, डोंट लेट अदर्स नेसेसरली इन्फ्लुएंस यू.
I like Swarniv's thing. They're so pissed off that they're going to, inject more and they'll just take it off. Ekdam Hulk style.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That could also be possible. Ravi says, I want Malayali streams. Shivam says, Atalanta 2-0.
Malayali streams, Malayalam hote ho. Malayalam.
Exactly.
Is the person. Malayalam is the language.
Yeah, exactly. Paramba, I think Barella is already an intelligent academy in all my Inter 11 is consistency moments in big games and trophies. Legend तो है, all time 11 के बारे में मेरे को सोचना पड़ेगा, but legend तो obviously he is going to be one. Yeah, he's been here now for 6 seasons here, so I consider him one. I don't know about all time 11 just yet. वो थोड़ा सोचना पड़ेगा, बट डेफिनेटली अ लेजेंड। एक अगर चैंपियंस लीग ट्रॉफी आ जाए तो इट ऑब्वियसली हेल्प्स हिज सीवी। बट नेक्स्ट गेम थोड़ा मूव ऑन, आई कीप कमिंग विद टू द कमेंट्स। ये मैंने और अजय भाई ने तो किया है। आई थिंक आई वेंट फॉर अ ड्रॉ, अजय भाई यू प्रेडिक्टेड अ नापोली विन।
Napoli
I
win
want to
2-1.
see in the comments, guys, because I didn't see at that time people in the comments predicting this. So comments में बताओ यार लाजियो नापोली क्या हो रहा है आपके लिए। I'll move on, तब तक आप बताओ, मैं comments भी देखता हूँ। अजय भाई आप comments pull up करते रहो यार, if you can, if you don't mind. अरे भाई ये क्या गेम है? This is as an Inter fan, this is a bit funny because obviously I don't like Hellas, and then you have a rival, and this is a bit funny. But क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई, इधर क्या होगा? Because Hellas are awful. I'll be very honest with you. Hellas are terrible. क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah. They are terrible, but then, yeah, with Hellas, you don't know which Hellas turns up. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
like just go to their form, Hellas का form.
Yeah, but because that's what ना, जो हारते तो मार खा लेते हैं लोग। देखो ना,
Uh,
साला held Venezia, Monza, but got smashed by Atalanta, Lazio. I remember even we smashed them 5-0 यार। So क्या बोलते हो? क्या लगता है आपको?
yeah. Phew. I think it's going to be a draw because
वो
Milan Milan are fatigued from their midweek. मेरे को
हाँ
लगता है कि हेलास कुछ तो निकालेगा ये गेम से यार एंड आई थिंक it's been a while since we saw Hellas shock. That's why I asked you to pull up the form because वो
हाँ
क्या है ना इन लोग ऐसे हारते बीच में एक गेम उन लोग अपसेट मार के जाते हैं.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah
so Hellas has defeated Napoli and Roma both
yeah
in this
yeah
season by the
yeah
way.
yeah वो तो
So
पर वो तो नापोली वाला was still a bit early ना,
yeah,
मतलब you remember वो
game
तो
week
मतलब
1,
वो
game week 1.
game week 1 Juan Jesus the thing.
Yeah, game week 2 or something. Yeah, game week 2, sorry.
Game week 2, correct, game week 2. Let me see in
But
the
but
comment.
I feel it's going to be a 1-all draw. I think Milan have lost a lot of energy in that midweek game against Feyenoord. And
Fair
ये
enough.
सब गेम है ना मतलब मिलान वही ना मद्रिद को हरा के कैलियरी
हाँ
अगेंस्ट ड्रॉ करेगा. It the
yeah
script is like that and Hellas I don't want to say it but Hellas can even pull off a coup and get an away win but that's a bit too
yeah
much.
it's a dilemma for me because I want Hellas to get relegated, and one of the ways is if Milan beats them, obviously. So ये weird है, but objectively speaking, I आपका पॉइंट बराबर है बिकॉज आपने जो मिड वीक में भी देखा द टेरिबल बॉडी लैंग्वेज बाय द एसी मिलान प्लेयर्स, लेआओ बीइंग राइटफुली bashed
Yeah,
by
yeah.
every Milanista. It's a very weird one. I can see a draw happening, but I'll go for like a very cagey AC Milan win. Like I feel the scoreline will read something like a 3-1, but वो जो 3-1 का comfort जो रहता नहीं हो वो रहता है ना, वो नहीं होगा. Like somehow at times you have these weird games where a team loses by 2 goals, but
Yeah.
they were not really that bad. वैसे टाइप का मेरे को लग रहा है 3-1 for AC Milan. Uh,
Fair.
Santi hat trick incoming. Wow, says Siddhant. 1-0 for AC Milan. 2-1 AC Milan. AC Milan is at home, Adrish, by the way. But I still your prediction holds. Milan 3-2. Hellas smash Napoli 3-0. Yep. Never forget. Agenda against Hellas is unreal. भाई तू एक काम करना, तू वेरोना जा. तू फिर पहले थोड़ा सोशलाइज कर उधर के लोगों, वो हेलास के फैंस से, फिर तुझे समझ जाएगा हम लोग क्यों बोलते. ठीक है. Lazio 2-1 Napoli says Shivam. 2-2 draw Lazio Napoli. Adrish says Param Bhaiya was a fan of Valentino Mazzola primarily because of the player profile. Di Stefano before Di Stefano, but the Il Grande Torino. Oh, thanks. You have already watched it. I'm glad to know ki you like the video. Again, these kind of the videos are the videos we live for. It's not about the big teams all the time. So, रायन गॉसलिंग मैंने देखा नहीं था भरोसा, लिजिट थॉट तूने रेंडर्स को रेंडियर बना दिया इसलिए रायन गॉसलिंग को डाल दिया. सही है यार ये. कॉल ऑफ फ्यूरी कैन प्लेस
ये भाई ये ऐसे सब कमेंट करेगा ना तो मैं कैलिफेरो को वापस रोमा लेके जाने वाला हूँ. ये ऐसा मत कर. ही इज बैक टू रोमा अगर ऐसा तू हरकत करेगा तो.
Even Barella with Italy is class. Of course he is. Of course. I remember. He's class. There's no doubt. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Drish. Next game, Ajay, I'll just pull it up. Sorry. Is yeah, कहाँ गया? Sorry. Next game is Fiorentina Como. Interesting because दोनों teams मतलब अच्छा कर रही है in a way. Obviously, मतलब Como is also bolstered. क्या लगता है? ये बहुत tricky one to predict in my opinion.
Very tricky one to predict Param
But lot
because
of जैसा आप देख सकते हो, lot of absentees for Como. क्या बोलते हो? Obviously, the
I
last time
think
Fiorentina won 2-0. क्या बोलते हो?
I think Fiorentina will win this against Como. at home, despite Moise Kean not being there. I think against Como at home shouldn't be an issue for them. I think they'll win this game by
Mm.
say another 2-0 or something for them.
Yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 Fiorentina. I feel Como will put up a good fight, but still, because of the list of absentees and all, I think Fiorentina will bounce back right away. Again, comments, waiting for it. Uh, Verona is pulling off a late result by scoring at 90 plus 4. Uh,
मेरे को भी
Palladino,
लगता है कि होगा because I think Milan would lead, but then Verona might just come back 1-1. That was my prediction.
yeah. Palladino is the next big thing. Param is the lost brother partner. I get that a lot because obviously Fiorentina 2-0 Como, David De versus Rafael. Rafael Varane नहीं खेल रहा है. He's on the board here. Rafael Varane had
Yeah,
to retire because of his injury.
retire of
But
the yeah
technically it's still versus, so I get your point.
yeah.
Arteta underrated. Sorry, Arteta को अभी इस chat पे मत लाओ यार. With all due respect, come on. Fiorentina 3-1 Como, Fiorentina 2-1 Como. Yeah, Rafael Varane exactly. He retired because of his injury. He was playing for Como very shortly, but he got injured and he's on the board now. मतलब he's part of the board. Monza Lecce. I swear Lecce has to win this, given how
Lecce
decent they've
have
been.
to win this, man.
मतलब
Come
जो
on, it'll be a disgrace if they don't win it because Kristovic
yeah,
is in
because
form.
एग्जैक्टली जो जैसा खेल रहे ये लोग राइट जैसे बोलोनिया को भी होल्ड किया लास्ट टाइम अगर आप
हाँ हाँ
सॉरी मैं इधर क्यों गया स्पेसिफिकली सी इट्स नॉट बैड मतलब ठीक है इंटर से दे गॉट स्मैश बट देन obviously that's table top team ठीक है Cagliari was before Giampaolo sorry before Giampaolo exactly but ever since Giampaolo sorts no sorry Cagliari was Giampaolo it was just a terrible display but in general they have been doing well and I would be surprised if they lost to Monza. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई?
same. Even I'd be surprised because I feel that even for Lecce, this is a good game to get 3 points and just push themselves out of the relegation black hole. तो मेरे
Yeah,
को लगता है कि यार मोहनजा का तो मतलब it's done for. Like they are destined to
yeah,
go to
that,
Serie B. And like
yeah,
I've always mentioned in stream, Serie B नहीं लोग सीधा Serie C जाएंगे. शायद उससे भी नीचे जाएंगे because the way that the owners Galliani wants to sell the club, there are no buyers. They have sold the entire first team who were playing in
yeah,
January. At least like the likes of Daniel Maldini
yeah.
at all. So let's win this.
Again, comments में मुझे चाहिए. I agree with Ajay. Lecce wins. Kristovic, क्या form में है? He broke some record recently as per Opta Paolo. I think consistently in 2025 so far he's very got a very high number of goals and assists. So Kristovic, a man to keep an eye on, very good, decent side. I always said कि ये लोग top 10 के actually challenge करना चाहिए था. They're not even that bad. Underperformance रहा है, but yeah, I feel Lecce will win this. Lecce wins like maybe 1-0 or
Yeah,
something. Again, these two teams when they played last time, they were flying very high. You remember Ajay bhai? दोनों top half
yeah,
of the table में साला top 4 के लिए
yeah,
लड़ रहे थे ये दोनों. Empoli
yeah.
has obviously fallen off. Udinese have also fallen off, but Udinese is still a solid team. क्या बोलते हो? I think Udinese wins and Udinese continues their top 10. क्या बोलते हो?
I'll go for a draw in this one. To be honest, I think Empoli also on their day can produce a result. I'll go for a 1-1 between
हाँ.
Udinese and Empoli.
What are people saying in the comments? If you could just check predictions. Monza Lecce. Adrish says Lecce 2-0. Yeah, Lecce के पास definitely talented players बहुत है. Ranieri, that's fine. अभी yeah, he retired after that Coppa Italia game versus Sampdoria where he got injured. Monza 1-1 Lecce says Shivam. Castellanos. Yeah, I agree. Abhijay, matlab, he definitely deserves a shout out. 16G. Definitely having a very solid season. Thanks for pointing that out. Monza Lecce 0-0. Roma Parma पे आते हैं. Xmas episode, yeah. I remember
Oh
because
yeah,
it was in the episode, right? And
in
Roma
the
won.
episode,
Udinese,
yeah.
yeah, Udinese 1-1 Empoli says Adrish. Good catch, Abhijay, by the way. But let's get back to it. क्या बोलते हैं आपने draw बोला? I feel Udinese wins. Again, I want to see more of it in the comments, guys. We're anyways closing this very soon. But Parma Roma, Ajay bhai. Parma have
Oof.
been dreadful. I know relegation teams at this point turn up. जैसे आप
Yeah,
एम्पोली के बारे में बोले हो क्या बोलते हो इसके बारे में
I would again go for a 1-1 prediction in this one. I feel that Parma might just do something and sneak a point away in this game. ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है. I hope that Roma can pull off like a 1-0 win that we saw last weekend against Venezia. But given again even the excursions जो यूरोप में था midweek में, very tough place to go, FC Porto, the Dargao. So I just
Yeah.
feel that हमारा स्क्वाड का 3 games खेलने का औकात नहीं है. I feel that Ranieri will heavily rotate in this game because he will have that Porto game in mind, and that's why I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw in this game.
Range is still out, if I'm not wrong, right? Or is he recovering for this
Yeah.
one?
No, Rensch is out. Of course, Dybala का कोई
And
he is injured. I
Cristante
mean,
is
Shivam ने पूछा कि how long is he out, but luckily they say that it's not a serious injury, so he might return as soon as the Porto game. Definitely missing this game out, but I hope that he plays the Porto game.
एंड पार्मा की तो लिस्ट बहुत ही बड़ी है. जूरिच भी नहीं है, मिहाइला भी नहीं है, ओसोरियो भी नहीं है, सरकाटी भी नहीं है. सरकाटी तो बहुत टाइम से, और उसका तो सीजन ही खत्म हो गया है. सो या एंड पार्मा हैव बीन टेरिबल. हमने ऑब्वियसली उनको हाइप वाइप बहुत किया था, बट इट्स डिसअपॉइंटिंग बिकॉज द टीम बेयरली हैज एनी लीडर्स, एंड जो लीडर था एक उसको एसीएल हो गया है, एंड इट्स वेरी डिसअपॉइंटिंग यार. लाइक आई डोंट नो, आई फील रोमा निक दिस और ये ड्रॉ होता है. आई विल गो फॉर दैट. Oops, ये क्या हो गया? Sorry, just give me 1 second. Yeah, Parma Roma obviously ends in a. I think Roma still nicks it, and I think the last 2 games are obviously
UA.
Inter.
We
UA
have
Inter
done
तो हमने predict किया. I went for an Inter win. Ajay predicted a draw. I want to see it in comments. Come on, guys. I want to see it in comments. Parma 0-2 Roma says Adresh. Shivam says Roma 2-0 for Roma. Ryan Deer also says 2-0. एंड साउद अब्दुल हमीद को खरीदा ही क्यों था? I mean depth के लिए, but I did hope he was playing more, you know. So, yeah.
Even I hope, yeah, because he had a very good outing in Europe. I feel that Ranieri should trust him a bit more, but then that's just me.
And obviously UA की ये injury list है. Inter का अभी भी Marcus Thuram and Arnautovic are still not guaranteed to play, by the way, because they also have knocks to deal with. But 2-0 victory for Inter is Zidane, but
the last game of this game week.
Yeah. I'll come to that. It's funny. I'll come to that. I'll just take these comments.
Haram ball.
Adrish says 2-1 Inter. रैंडियर से 7-8 साल से फुटबॉल देख रहा, बट नॉट एज मच एज सेरिया. बारसा फैन हूँ, ठीक है, तो अभी देख लो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. फुटबॉल तो देख रहे हो, अच्छी बात है. शिवम says has also even played this season, yeah, barely because of his injury issues and all, but yeah, because he was a regular for Parma in the Serie A. Good point out over there. So yeah, UA 2-2 Inter says Reindeer, and Baseball says 2 horse race between Napoli and Inter. It's also going right down to the wire. Fair enough, guys. Ajay, just give me 1 second. I'll be back. You start taking predictions for the last game. I'll just be back.
Bhai, Genoa Venezia is absolute haram ball. Matlab, you have Patrick Vieira, who's been doing okay for Genoa, to be honest. He has been getting some key results, and Genoa are pretty much out of that black hole of relegation. But Venezia also needs some points. Eusebio Di Francesco, I know कि काफी सारे fans हैं नहीं बेचारे के, but this game has got the makings of a haram ball classic पर अब Monday night football. मतलब अगर एक एडवर्ट देना चाहिए Serie A को, तो ये गेम तो नहीं होना चाहिए, बिल्कुल नहीं होना चाहिए.
नहीं फनी है, बिकॉज एक्चुअली जैसे आपने बोला पैट्रिक विएरा अच्छा कर तो रहा था, बट थोड़ा उसका भी डिप हो गया बीच में. वेनेजिया ऑन द अदर हैंड
पहले बोलने वाला इसका प्रेडिक्शन 0-0 ड्रॉ. Monday night 0-0.
Monday night. But that's the funny thing, because Venezia का वही प्रॉब्लम है, थोड़ा बीच में इंप्रूवमेंट था, but it's just that they can't close the game. जब भी लीड आती है, कमबैक करते हैं, मार खा लेते हैं. उडिनेजे से भी 2-0 डाउन थे, 2-2 किया, 3-2 हार गए. रोमा गेम ऑल्सो लॉस्ट 1-0. हेलास को हराना चाहिए था, पार्मा को भी हरा सकते थे. Genoa on the other hand have done decent, but obviously kind of halted a bit. So 0-0 is a fair prediction. I think draw तो definitely होगा. I don't know what score. One good news I would say for Venezia is this: they opted to not to sign Wissam Ben Yedder.
Oh,
Kudos to them for having common. DiMarzio
good, good.
reported कि वो लोग they've opted against signing Ben Yedder. अगर आप जानते हो Ben Yedder के बारे में तो आप जानते हो. तो you know, and one sad thing I would say is Philip Stankovic as an Inter East stand, obviously because he was having a very good
Injured,
season.
yeah, yeah.
और वो उडीनेसे के
Painful
अगेंस्ट
injury.
बेसिकली क्या हुआ, he tried to take a goal kick, right? तो उसका पैर अटक गया वो टर्फ में, लाइक हिज बेसिकली अभी वो पैर आपका रैंडमली रुक जाता है ना जब आप किक विक करते हो,
Correct, correct, correct,
उसमें he
correct.
pulled his hamstring badly, so he's unfortunately out and he was having a very good season, you know, so that's the
Yeah.
one sad part. And his replacement is Andre Radu, former Inter goalkeeper जिसने obviously famous moment create किया था बोलोनिया में in Milan Scudetto win. So that is quite weird, but yeah, sad for Philip Stankovic. But yeah, as a club, you know, Ajay, I always hoped Venezia could stay up, but lag nahi raha because look at where they stand. Look at that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just can't see them coping with. I know there are a lot of games left, 14 games, sorry, 14 games left, but still, I don't know how they catch up with an Empoli and all. Yeah, it's very difficult.
Very
And
difficult,
this
very
is where
difficult.
I keep saying, as I know you like EDF and all, that's fine, but यार कितने पोजीशन से अगर कोई स्टैट कैलकुलेट करेगा ना जब कि इन्होंने ड्राइंग पोजीशन या विनिंग पोजीशन से पॉइंट्स ड्रॉप किए, these guys would be in top 3 at least in the league table.
And that is a pattern that is consistent with EDF. You saw that
Exactly.
in Frosinone also last year.
Yeah. For
That
Frosinone तो
Frosinone
positions
shouldn't have they shouldn't have
relegated.
gone back to Serie B. Yeah, no
Yeah,
chance.
they were in fucking top 4 for a few weeks, and I'm saying this half
Yeah.
like midway into. I'm not saying look top 4 में finish होने चाहिए थे you. That's not what I'm trying to say. But to get relegated from being in top 4 midway into the season, top 4, top 7, ridiculous. So yeah, sorry, he's not a legend. He's not a legend. He's a clown. That's all I will say. अगर आप उसके बारे में पहले न्यूज़ नहीं पढ़ा है तो जाके पढ़ लो what he's done. ठीक है? He's not a legend. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, he's there.
Maxwell gone.
Maxwell. Yeah, he
Maxwell gone.
exactly. This is the question. How is he not in jail? You know, there are perks of being a footballer, unfortunately. अरे वो ऐसी मजाक, इट्स लाइक अ वे ऑफ सेइंग इट ना अदृश. वेन येडर के बारे में एक ऐसा फैक्ट है कि एवरीवन नोज हिज नेम बिकॉज ऑफ फीफा गेम, बट वेरी लेस. नहीं वो तो छोड़ भाई, वो छोड़, वो सब तो तू कोई भी प्लेयर के मिल सकता है. पहले जाके उसने पढ़ो क्या किया है. I want Mereti to score the winner. Oh, interesting Swarnima, because Mereti, I know you love him a lot, but obviously
Mereti, even I rate him quite highly, man. What a player.
या कारने से कि एक तो मेरेती अच्छा टैलेंट है, आई एग्री. कारने से कि डेफिनेटली कारने से कि प्लेज अ रोल है.
Starting Rui Patricio in 2025, bro.
Yeah.
क्या बोलूं मैं?
Yeah. Genoa versus Venezia is Hetafe versus Burnley are the games which will begin multiverse. सही अच्छा comparison है.
Yeah. We can start the Inter Toto Cup by getting all these.
सही है वो mid table clubs के लिए we need it.
Yeah, even the Anglo-Italian Cup was a very, very good competition.
Yeah, I agree. Hugo Cuenca is obviously Genoa signed him from AC Milan. I think Genoa dropped some great retro kits over the week. भाई पैसे होते इतने तो ले लेता ही कुछ, बट बहुत एक्सपेंसिव है. I like Mereti too. But yeah, guys, कोई closing comments तो फटाफट बोल दो. अजय and me will take it. I'll just be back.
Yes, so just plugging in the channel, boys and girls.
आपका तब तक ये दिखा दो ना यार, वुल्सबर्ग का वीडियो ही दिखा दो. मतलब
so just sharing this. So this is the channel, guys.
You got the memo. Sorry Ajay, you got the memo, but yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So do hit the subscribe button here. काफी सारे videos है. This is the latest video that I made, which is on Wolfsburg's shocking win in 2008-2009. Edin Dzeko Grafit का काफी बढ़िया combination था, and Misimovic who was serving up the assists. बहुत सारे videos है, मैंने football predictions भी दिए है. ये भी काफी interesting video, almost 1000 views हो गए. एकदम 999 में अटका हुआ है, तो जाके इसको 1000 कर दो. Bolton Wanderers का भी एक बढ़िया वीडियो है, so you can go and watch that.
We are planning to do a video on Uzbek football and Khusanov की story.
Yes, that is also
आएगा. We were actually supposed to drop it last week, but मेरा health का band बच गया, and because Ajay wanted me and Kostov on that video. So करेंगे, टेंशन मत लो, but that's another unique story we'll be trying to cover. Not just Khusanov, but थोड़ा Uzbek football में क्या चल रहा है, the revolution. So definitely we'll be trying to cover it
Of
on
course, you can
Ajay
also check out, अगर आप Indian football में interested है, तो you can check out a video on the Kerala football scene. This is from 2020 when I had visited Kerala. So as you can see from the thumbnail, I met I am Vijayan over there.
या
तो
देखो यार
काफी सारा
अजय भाई के चैनल में बहुत कंटेंट है. होपफुली मे बी वील बी कवरिंग मोर ऑफ इंडियन फुटबॉल डाउन द फ्यूचर इवन इफ इट्स नॉट वर्थ कवरिंग. बट ऑल दैट aside, let me just take the last comments guys and we can close this. बैंड बच गया मेरा भी. I'm gonna watch the Wolfsburg video definitely. आराम से अपने टाइम पे देखो, बट देखो, we appreciate it Adresh as always. uh, thank you यार शिवम as always. I'm just glad we could stream. मतलब regardless of that, the whole point is us getting the content to. And again, all I can say is जो भी लोग है, like, share and subscribe to both the channels. That's the main thing that helps us. uh, Prison FC में super sub Ben Yedder. Thank you Swarnim bhai as always for joining in. Hopefully we win the derby. Inter wins the derby d'Italia. uh, but let's see यार, let's see. क्या क्या क्या. Oh, okay. One season one. Correct. Sorry, I misread that last part.
there
Is
is
there
there is
any?
there is a playlist. It's on the
Yeah.
football videos, so you can find everything over there.
Yeah. दोनों subscriber. Each video made with so much love. Yeah, definitely, yeah, guys. Thank you again. All I can say is thanks, guys, for joining in. और content आता रहेगा. Don't worry. The भारी video is about to drop soon. Finally, editor का almost काम हो गया वो edit करके. We are planning some collabs as well. एक special collab है जो हम plan कर रहे हैं, जो मार्च में होगा, because जिसके साथ collab करना है वो मुंबई आ रहा है मार्च में. तो तब उसके साथ करेंगे इन पर्सन कोलैब. एंड अदर कोलैब्स विल आल्सो कम योर वे. अजय भाई ने अपना चैनल दिखा. कीप एन आई आउट ऑन दैट. ये व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप
ये मल्टीवर्स ऑफ कैल्चो चर्चा ज्वाइन करो.
yeah, please join this, because again, if you join this, keep the chat healthy. Banter चलता है इस पे. Don't keep it toxic though. Unfortunately, we did find a couple of toxic people and एक दो को निकालना पड़ा, and we don't like doing that, so don't do that. So ये ग्रुप पे आ जाओ. आपको इस पे कोई क्वेश्चन है सेरी आ रिलेटेड, इटालियन फुटबॉल रिलेटेड, पूछ लो. एंड कंटेंट विल ऑलवेज कम. डोंट वरी. अगेन बारी पे आएगा. आई एम प्लानिंग टू सून. ये थोड़ा तबीयत ठीक हो जाए तो शायद मैं फाइनली स्पेजिया का शॉर्ट रिकॉर्ड कर लूँ. एंड अजय में भी कुछ ना कुछ कंटेंट तो आता रहेगा. सो डोंट वरी. लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब गाइस. सो
enjoy the calcio. Enjoy the
calcio. आज रात को enjoy your weekend and see you guys soon guys.
Ciao. Good night. Buonanotte.
Good night. Thank you Ryan dear. And अरे यार टेंशन मत ले. हम लोग लाइक्स पे इतना भी नहीं सोचते. कोई स्ट्रीम को ज्यादा मिलता है, कोई स्ट्रीम को कम मिलता है. As I said already, right? It's more about the quality we put out. So don't worry. We'll do fine यार. टेंशन मत लो. 2K. This also tells you this is your job to get us to 2K, not just ours, right? So आप लोग 2K में पहुंचाओ. But yeah, good night guys. See you soon.
Night.